Sabhi ko namaskar. You all are most welcome to the third day of this 5 days Project Yuga Parivartan Global Summit. So just like the last 2 days, we have invited 4 speakers today also to share their views about the golden age, the golden world order or Satyuga, so that all good initiatives which are happening on the world today towards the right direction can come together and act as force multipliers to each other. Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform is that platform where every individual and institution moving towards the right direction is invited. So let us begin today's session. The first speaker of the day is Ms. Chilmai Praveen. So I would like to invite my colleague Amit Agarwal ji to introduce our first speaker and invite her on the stage.
Great, thanks. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the day, Ms. Chilmai Praveen. An entrepreneur by profession, social activist by passion, hails from Davangere. Her journey from a homemaker to a humble business leader is very inspiring. Her decade-old startup, Given Waxstum, aims at providing pure, safe drinking water to all these sects of society at affordable costs. As an objective to make the nation stronger and more independent, her venture employs women to help them secure financial independence. She's a happy daughter, sister, wife, and mom to a wonderful family. Chilmai Praveen is a recipient of a plethora of awards, including Social Leader of the Year, Business Leader of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Changemaker, and many more to her credit. She's also a philanthropist who is actively involved in her organization, Vistara, which aims at upbringing the society and is keen on giving back to society. She has proved that age is just a number by securing a fully sponsored course by Goldman Sachs at IIM Bangalore now. As an entrepreneur, social activist, writer, she is a force of action who leads the life of humility, diligence, compassion, love, and empathy. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our first speaker of the day of the 5 days Project Yuga Parivartan Global Summit 2022, Ms. Chilmai Praveen.
Yes. Greetings, everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all here. Today, I feel privileged and honored to be one of the speaker in this harmonious platform where we are discussing on how to go where we were. So I, from the bottom of my heart, thank Mr. Hitesh Chandal and team for accommodating a space here to discuss the topic. What is your vision on Swarna Yuga, Golden Yuga, and what are the ways to reach it? Yes, my dear friends, when we literally see that in a 24 hours a day, we see 4 cycles, that is morning, afternoon, evening, and night. To a broader perspective, when we come to the seasons, a year 365 days, again we see 4 cycles, that is summer, rainy, winter, and spring. And to a very much, if we see what is that, there are 4 yugas where we call as Swarna Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Yuga. So now it is a transition period where we are shifting from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. So what is that constant? What is that we are saying which is constant? We all know when we deep dive inside to understand what is that constant, we see that change is a constant. And there was a time when there was oneness. So as we all know, change is inevitable, change is constant, change is the base. And so, indeed, don't we think that when we are shifting from one yuga to another yuga, that change needs to be big? Yes, indeed, it should be very big. To turn our corner from crisis to comfort and grim to golden age, we need change in our mindset, change in our living, and change in our thinking. Getting out from our current fragmented world to a golden age seems very much possible and very much easier only with the self-actualization, self-realization, and self-correction. So we need to change our walking path from a planet harming to planet healing. I underline this sentence. We need to change our walking path from planet harming to planet healing. So, and a balance between this can ensure Swarna Yuga, that is golden age, where we can ensure the prosperity of everyone. My views on fast approaching good co-living, the tools of development across platform to the strata of society, be it visualizing in a role of business persons, NGOs, political organizations, and spiritual leaders. Coming to business organization, yeah, when we see that, like change, what is the change we need to have it? So we are in a transition stage, and the world is under the transition. So it needs some perfective path, like how we can do. So the two things are the ignorance of sleep and the awakening to the vibrant morning. So what I say is the people still who want to enjoy the Kali Yuga are in a sleep of ignorance. So what is that ignorance means? Life of achieving for themselves, life of acquiring for themselves. So what is that aspect of people who want to come to Satya Yuga? That is awakening to the brightness. So what is that awakening? Awakening towards the new way of thinking, new way of being, and new way of living. So what is that change we need now? It is only a change in sanskars. So we need to shift the sanskars from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga, wherein the sanskars in Kali Yuga we see as kama, krodha, moksha, lobha. But in Satya Yuga, we need that transition of sanskar as coolness, calmness, love towards oneself and others, and kindness and empathy. So when we can shift our sanskars to this, we can easily walk the path of Satya. Yeah. So this, whatever the cross paths you're seeing, that is the change is what I meant. When we think that, what is that needed to join the wave of change? To walk the path of Satya Yuga, we need the truth in ourselves. We need the truth to be ourselves, and we need to see the goodness in ourselves and goodness in others. We need to ensure peace in our surroundings and towards empathy, compassion, and kindness. Love and care should be at the utmost top in our tree. So this wave of change will let us walk the path of Satya Yuga. So, light on the business organization, as the boundaries between sectors continue to blur, large set of companies, there are many industrialists and the company owners, business owners, they are assessing their business modules, not by their success compared with the transitional business peers, unlike now we are doing. We are like competing with others, and we see success when we compete with others and win. But many of the business modules now, they are not assessing with the traditional business peers, but the success in competing with the rapidly emerging good ecosystem. This is a very good point, what we are observing. And when it comes to what are the fine tunings in the business owners or organization, I need to mention here is, coming to the first one, crafting strategy, business owners needs to be dynamic and proactive in crafting the strategies to adapt, to change, to be agile, to be sustainable. But all this definitely not at the cost of employee dissatisfaction nor the employee demotivation, because employees are the pillars of the business. And next, how can we turn, when we come to the customers, the tailor-made touch points to our products can meet the customer needs. And when we do this touch point creation, we can also decrease the transaction cost, thereby limiting the customer loss and churns. So what does this point indicate here? So when we are transitioning from that yuga to this yuga, we are valuing money, whether it is mine or yours. So we can also try building the emotional tie-ups, addressing their pain points, fill those white spaces, adding the value proposition to our products. So what does this say? So it says that it can enhance the customer relationship and we can retain the customers. So we are building a loyal customer pocket in the business arena. And we should clearly understand that unsustainable businesses know far with the strategies which are harming the ecosystem and harming the employees can lead to solidarity breakdown. So as a business owners, we need to be extra cautious while choosing our business modules as a sustainable over unsustainable one. For following all this like strategies, customer care touch points, and this, the face of economic turbulence can become a stable one only when the business owners walk on the path of ethical business modules and practices, which can ensure high level of genuine return on the investment. To sum up the business organization tunings, largest diversified conglomerates can capture value when they do the businesses ethically. They can grow professionally and personally only by addressing the customer pain point and create the system which create benefits for the customer pool. So this is about business. Coming to the commercial institutions and institutional stakeholders. So what does commercial institution and institutional stakeholders? The topmost, what it says is practical wisdom overrules everything. We need to be very clear on our wisdom practically. Theoretical knowledge, okay, but the practical wisdom overrules everything. And now we are in a state of choosing between the closed economy versus open economy. So how willing are our stakeholders and large commercial institutions through their lock-in profits address these pressing issues of economy? So what do you feel? And in my perspective, I feel suburbanization is the key. Increasing payroll contributes to the increase in domestic demand. The release in lock-in profits, what I mentioned there, from the commercial institutions and institution stakeholders can free up discretionary cash to spend on consumer products. So now this becomes a robust sum game and a win-win case to businessmen and population, resulting in good profits to investors and a return on investment to the industrialist and also a decent livelihoods to the population, creating better society as a whole. So instead of we thinking that rendering giant companies obsolete, why can't we think that the capitalist system might complement by opening opportunities to the creation of wealth? How? It is only change the way the money flows. Yes, already the fintech startups are forcing large banks to change the way they operate, and in the near future, many startups will take over the bank functions. So what does this indicate is, it is clearly indicating there will be umpteen opportunities and it would be an added spoke in a development wheel to walk Satya Yuga. When the whole digital navy is a shadow for everything, when we say that, when we address the technology redressing is an important point here and a need of the hour. So redefine digital age is the golden age, says our youth. Synthetic biology, quantum, computing, blockchain, AI, drones, private citizen space. What do these all say? They all say that technology is amplified the intent and capacity of human intelligence and the staking of institutional stakeholders, failing to substitute the deficiency of humanity. So the key issue here is the intent which we deploy the new arsenal of technologies and economy it raises. Does this technical endeavors aim to increase the productivity and create wealth? And does it aim to distribute the wealth to many, or it concentrate among only few? So that is the major question to be answered here. So my say for this would be wealth creation and the wealth distribution should always go hand in hand. The new technology giants like Google, Apple, FB, along with other similar technologies will comprise highest productivity sectors in IT. That's understood. That's fair. But does they give us a decent society to lead the life? Unless they distribute, they become the unaccepted monopoly leaders in the future. It is not just redistributing in the form of charity, kindness, or act of philanthropy is needed now, but they should foster the multiple novel job creation in creating the lifestyle changes that attributes to create a better society. When the society is becoming better, the whole world is becoming better. So with that, they should create a lifestyle changes. Those whatever I meant the technology change, they should ensure that they are not just doing the charity or act of kindness. They should ensure the proper living, proper jobs to the novel distribution of jobs to the communities and population. Next, when we throw light on a political organizations and government, it plays a very important role because political organizations, government and businesses are a single coin with two different phases. Now, what we feel is we are against the government, and many a times we see that government doesn't support us or the policies doesn't support us. So what is that golden rule across the strata of society, be it a business owner, entrepreneur, or an employee, employer, or a common man? What is that golden rule we should adapt to ourselves is that we need to equip ourselves and modernize ourselves to work with the government. Many of us tend to think that we oppose government intervention in any of our work. When we think that government is supporting us and government is the base of everything, so that discovery becomes an advantage of working together, and that way we can do the miracles in working. So that would become a cream on the cake. But the baseline issue is political organizations and the government definitely should exercise their efforts in addressing underlying causes of degradation. So they should have some brainstorming sessions that why the degradation is happening in spite of all the policies made for the businessman, why the degradation is happening. See, they need to assess themselves and have a brainstorming in assessing the underlying causes for degradation.
Like how they should be, and like when they propose some of the initiatives, they must attend the social, political, and economic progress of a whole community. So like they keeping in mind of one spec doesn't work here. So the complete proposed initiative must attend the social, political, and economical progress of each aspect of the human being here. And asymmetrical power attribution should be rooted out, and they should create a fair way. They should create a fair way to the green projects and the startup to find the credit in finding the capital cost to them. So wherein nowadays we are seeing only the capital credit to the fintechs or the technological initiatives as the startups. But the government should be keen on providing the credit to the capital capacity of all the green initiatives and the startup initiative which are eco-friendly and ecosystem, and they are doing a sustainable business. They should have the credit. And the atrocities of the policies, what we are seeing is keeping away from recovery. So how can we recover the world from ourselves or to the vision of business owners? How can we do the recovery? So that is the atrocity of the policy is not supporting. They should have a keen brainstorming on the atrocities of policies when they are framing the policies. So how can they do? Just a gist of, and we being from a different background, we cannot as a whole give the idea of what should be done. But according to what we are seeing, slightly we can say that they can focus on intelligent government policies which can provide clear direction of profitability and effective laws to restore the employment. Nowadays, employment has become a big issue. So the policies, while they are framing, they should be intelligent enough to provide the clear direction to the profitables for the startups, and also the laws to restore the employment with the intense income. Then only they can interest the social rest. In my opinion, so it may seem very silly or unjust or something, but in my opinion, the most feasible solution, however complex it seems, is probably the universal basic income that covers a basic necessity to everyone from teenager to old age should be accessible so that they can exist safely in a gig economy. And that would truly grow economy from bottom up, because that initiative or that move can give every individual a dignity of living and a decent living to every soul on the earth. So that can be negotiated. And coming to the NGOs, non-governmental organizations are a part and parcel of political organization and NGOs. So when we see the statistics clearly says that we have one policeman for every 943 people, only considering one nation. So when it comes to universe or the world, the statistics again changes. So when we look into our nation statistics, it says that we have one policeman for every 943 people, but one NGO for 316 people. So what does this statistic say? Everywhere, every corner, each individual is trying to help other individual or other co-living neighbor or someone within their capacity and the strength to help in some or the other way what they can do. So the amazing fact is NGOs are a pillar for the mission to develop colossal entrepreneurship. So that is the base of the NGO. When we take the NGOs, so it is a mission, it can develop the colossal entrepreneurship. So the government collaboration to this NGOs can bring in on the table that can lead to redesign, restructure, or reframe the structure of entrepreneurship at the urban level, suburban level, and the rural level. When the entrepreneurship at all these bases are making and have the development of entrepreneurship in all these three areas, so like it promises the decent living of everyone here. So basically at the rural pockets, if it is done, so at the grassroots level, we are having the capacity of a decent and dignified living right from there. So nonetheless, I believe in years to come, NGOs will play a tremendous role in developing positive change in entrepreneurship development. How? How can they do this? By stimulating and mobilizing the interest in the rural pockets, suburban pockets, and the urbanized projects, and skill development by their trainings, sessions, symposiums, EDPS. So they have sessions on EDPS and they can mobilize people easily because they are working for a common cause without the profits for themselves. And counseling assistance can be given. And many of the NGOs shoulder the mental health of many people, and they give the root way to the networking. So when we see that evidences that NGOs can do a tremendous change, the evidences are galore to mention. So they stand for the environmental sustainability and they share the space to do something good, to give back to society, and the soul satisfaction in everyone who is interested and who is working for them. So what we can sum up and what we can conclude here is the planetary health can be visualized through NGOs with humanity and human civilization. So NGOs play a tremendous role, but only when they work in a right way. So coming to the last point of my session, it is spiritual and religious leaders. So without the spirituality, with the cut end of the spirituality, how we may, it is like a kite cut at the thread. So nature is an eternal law. So what nature gives and what we give to nature is an eternal law, and it should be take and give policy. The spiritual touch to it will make us. So how they influence us, the spirituality, when it is taken, when it is influenced from us, it makes us religiously compatible, environmentally appropriate, socially beneficial, and environmentally, economically viable. So spiritual and religious leaders, whatever content they give, the content, the intent the leaders put on us and we get influenced on us, the influence of spirituality will attract the experience of entrepreneurship only to be driven in a positive way. How? Because when a business leader, when an entrepreneur is influenced by the spirituality, the content of the spiritual leaders, the cognition practices strongly establishes the evaluation and interaction to ethical businesses. Am I doing right? Am I walking in the right way? So it makes us question ourselves, like whatever I'm doing, is it ethical? Is it only for the money? So this cognitive practices to make us think in a different way enhances us to do a businesses in a very driven value driven businesses can be done. So and apart from this, the spirituality enhances the connection between ourselves and our organizational goals. So when we connect within ourselves in a value driven way and a positive way, we come to know what is that potential we are hiding, what is that needs to be taken out, what should come out of us. So the good things hidden inside will come out and do a fantastic, fabulous work in the roadmap of businesses. So that is the strength of the connection within ourselves. When we get connection with the organizational culture, it gives us a shared community benefits apart from thinking the benefits only for ourselves and our family. It gives us a motive that we are working for the benefit of the society, benefit of our employees, benefit of our customers. So that thought induced in entrepreneurs or business leaders are definitely going to change the way they do the business. Though spirituality string within the entrepreneurs build a strong, true connection with the good content can help connect with the good ecosystems, good earthy living to the employees and the employers, job seekers and the job givers. So when spirituality is not there, when the influence of spirituality is less on our side, alienation, egocentrism, wild capitalism can flicker with the flames of negativity. So when we lose the focus on the spirit of spirituality, what is going to give us, we are going to become possibly attaching with the alienation or egoism or acquiring sense of humor within us. So alienation, egocentrism, wild capitalism will be rooted out when we are actually connected with the spiritual string within ourselves and outside us also. So this concludes my session, and I join hands with you all. Let us jointly walk the Satya Yuga and reach where we were from where we are now. So happy walking. So how can we walk and where are we walking? How can we walk the path of Satya Yuga can only answered by shifting our sanskars. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Chilmai ji. It was really wonderful and very appropriate for the theme of Project Yuga Parivartan. And we look forward to see you as part of Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform. As we keep saying, that 1 + 1 becomes 11 and 1 + 1 + 1 becomes 111. But unfortunately, we keep preaching this to others, but don't follow it in letter and spirit. We need to keep extending this 1 + 1 formula till the time everyone on the planet actually becomes one. So more than the 1 + 1 becoming 11, this is good to start with, but ultimately we should become 1 + 1 = 1. And this is where universal oneness can be brought back. There is no more fun in having diversity. Diversity to an extent that people talk more about differences and less about oneness. So let us reduce it by working together. So I look forward to meeting you. I think you're from Bangalore?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so last week only I was in Bangalore. So when I'll come back once again, then we can talk about how to convert this beginning into a lifelong working together.
Definitely, sir. Look forward.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so anyone from the audience having any questions for Chilmai ji?
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
so we have Mr. Premjit Rohi who would like to ask a question from you.
Yes.
Madam, I would like to ask, how different job we will do valued them, who will get what and how much, like valuation of different job, how you will do this in,
Uh,
in your understanding? Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Premjit. When we are like having a mindset of acquiring money and acquiring wealth only for ourselves, our thinking would be definitely in a different angle. So only like whether it is hook or crook, everything is fair in love and war. That becomes a statement and notion for our business. So when we really think that ethical businesses, it is not only for ourselves, but we are doing it for the community benefits or a social impact, then the ideation and the thinking would be definitely different. So when we are on the path of creating a value propositions or anything benefitful for the customers, in turn, the universe will attract us in doing our businesses fairly and also reaching the customers in a wide range. So that is called as a mass market where we can approach with a value added customization to the customers.
No, but you have any you have any like a formula or anything, because this is just balance. Your
Yes.
answer is just balance.
Sir, in particularly in which sector you are looking at, sir?
मैं ये पूछना चाहता था, जो विभिन्न प्रकार के प्रोफेशंस होंगे, जैसे कोई तो खेती करेगा, कोई तो ड्राइविंग करेगा, कोई तो वैज्ञानिक होगा, कोई तो मैनेजर होगा, कोई तो प्रधानमंत्री होगा, माने जो भी ये डिफरेंट सारे प्रोफेशंस हैं, इनको कुल मिला के इनको क्या मिलेगा? माने जैसे अगर इन टर्म्स ऑफ सैलरी पूछे तो कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे कि किसको कितनी सैलरी मिलेगी, या उसके काम का मूल्यांकन किस तरह से करेंगे? ये सवाल है.
Okay, so the question from Premjit ji is that
Yes,
how
sir.
will you value the various job roles in terms of monetizing that through salaries and other incentives? That how will you value in the new world order, golden world order that we are talking about?
Yeah,
Because
yes,
if we keep going in the way that we are doing in the old world order, then not much would change, right? So what would happen in the golden world order?
See, sir, to my understanding, whatever he asked and whatever I understood is he wants a value for each of the role described in an organization or in a community. So, be it a driver or be it this one, when the organization sees that that employee is creating some value to the organization without the unfair knowledge or the unfair cultural organizational cultural damage, so in that golden age, the investors or the management team can open their lock-in profits to share with the valued employees is what I believe.
Okay, so Premjit ji, it is like कि जो वैल्यू बेस पे जो बिजनेस चलेंगे तो इन्वेस्टर्स केवल अपनी कमाई के बारे में ही ना सोचते हुए ये भी सोचना शुरू करेगा कि जिसकी वजह से ये सब कमाई हुई है, ये प्रॉफिट्स आए हैं, सिस्टम बढ़ा हुआ है, उन सबको उनकी मेहनत के अनुसार उस प्रॉफिट में से शेयर भी मिले और एक इक्विटेबल इनकम जो है उनकी बनना शुरू हो, ना कि एक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन का स्वरूप जो आजकल है कि सारा प्रॉफिट ले जाते हैं जो बिजनेसमैन होते हैं या इन्वेस्टर होते हैं और जो आम आदमी होता है वो उसमें से ज्यादा कुछ नहीं ले पाता.
नहीं, वो तो ये अपनी अपेक्षा बता रही हैं कि भाई ऐसा हो. मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि कोई ऐसा फॉर्मूला या कोई ऐसा कुछ ऐसा सोचा है कि ये ऐसा कैसे होगा? ये तो अपेक्षा हो गई कि वो ऐसा करेंगे और कुछ ना कुछ करके करेंगे ऐसा करके, लेकिन कैसे करेंगे, क्वेश्चन ये है. इन्होंने कुछ सोचा है क्या ऐसा?
इसमें the question is how you will do it, because it's a visual thinking. Of course, it's an ideal way of thinking.
Like, see, it is not how you will do. I am already doing it, sir. See, what I say is we are into water purification units across Karnataka, and ours involves a much of a driving sense of a thing, be it night or early morning. We need to start for the project installations and commissions. So, to the particular installations and commission project, who drives me like 3 months or 4 months, one project gets over. So, my personal assistant and my driver, I keep it a share in that project. Whatever the profit I get, I share a percentage of it, be it 0.5 or 1% with them, because of them I am here. they are driving us and they are motivating us, and they keep the flow even. So I think that they are the internal stakeholders for my success also.
तो इसमें प्रेमजीत जी बिल्कुल ठीक बात बोली है चिन्मय जी ने कि अपने स्तर पे उन्होंने इस काम को स्टार्ट कर ही दिया है, और जिन लोगों को उन्होंने एम्प्लॉय किया हुआ है उनको वो समझ रही हैं कि मेरी जो तरक्की है उसके पीछे इन लोगों का भी हाथ है, तो इनको भी वो जो है प्रॉफिट में भागीदार होना चाहिए। तो इस आंसर को मैं थोड़ा एक्सटेंड करता हूं कि न्यू वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में जहां हम सोच रहे हैं कि सारे बिजनेसमैन और लीडर्स सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन तक पहुंच चुके होंगे, तो जैसी थॉट चिन्मयी जी की है हम आशा करते हैं कि ऐसी थॉट उन सबकी भी हो जाएगी। ये तो हुआ कि उनको एक मोटिवेट करके, इंस्पायर करके उनसे काम करा लेना। अब बात आती है कि उसको इंश्योर कैसे करेंगे, लीगल तरीके से उसको हम कैसे मैनेज करेंगे। तो उसका भी रास्ता निकल जाएगा, क्योंकि अगर आप वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज को देखो तो थोड़ा सा गलत सोच है भारत के लोगों की कि वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज का जो कैपिटलिज्म है वो टोटली खराब है, जबकि मैंने वहाँ पे देखा है, खुद जाके देखा है कि वहाँ पे जो इनकम का बीच में गैप्स हैं वो उतने ज़्यादा नहीं है जो इंडिया में है, और इसी कारण से वहाँ पे लेबर्स जो क्लास के लोग होते हैं उनको अफोर्ड करना हर किसी के बस की बात नहीं हो। ड्राइवर भी अच्छा कमाता है और बाकी लोग भी अच्छा कमाते हैं जो वर्कर लेवल के लोग हैं। इनफैक्ट छोटी सी एक घटना है जो मैंने खुद उसमें देखी है कि मैं इसमें वर्जीनिया स्टेट है इसका, यूएस का, तो उसमें एक टैक्सी मैंने ली थी मेट्रो स्टेशन से किसी एक प्लेस तक। तो वहाँ पे मैंने ऐसी बात करते करते, मैं और मेरा कलीग पीछे बात कर रहे थे हिंदी में, तो उसकी सैलरी की और इन सब चीज़ों की बात कर रहे थे। तो हमें लगा वो वहीं का लोकल है और केवल इंग्लिश जानता है, उसको समझ नहीं आएगा, लेकिन वो पाकिस्तान का निकला और उसको सारी बातें हमारी समझ में आ रही थी। तो उसने हमसे ये प्रश्न किया कि आप कितना कमाते हैं, तो हमने बताया कि सब मिला के ये $6,000 पर मंथ तक पहुंचता है। तो उसने बताया अच्छा, तो अभी तक $6,000 तक ही पहुंचा है। मेरी खुद की सैलरी जो है जितनी मैं ड्राइविंग में करता हूँ $9,000 है पर मंथ। $300 पर डे कमा लेता है, 9,000। तो इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ कि इवन जो लेबर क्लास है वो हो सकता है कई जगह पे ऑलरेडी सिस्टम इतने अच्छे बने हुए हैं कि वो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स के बराबर या उनसे भी ज्यादा कमा रहे हों। तो ये क्यों हुआ है? क्योंकि एक लॉन्ग टर्म में बहुत अच्छे ढंग से बिजनेस सिस्टम डिजाइन किए गए हैं।
जी जी जी, वो मैं समझ गया, क्योंकि वहां पर भी वही सिस्टम चलता है जो यहाँ है, मांग और आपूर्ति के हिसाब से। लेकिन वहां मांग और आपूर्ति अभी उस तरह की हो गई है, लेकिन उनका बेस वही है। वो मैं बेस ही पूछ रहा था आपसे या मैडम से कि आप इसको मतलब करेंगे कैसे। अभी तक जैसे आपने बताया अभी तक सोचा नहीं है, बाद में कोई ना कुछ निकाल लेंगे, आपने ऐसा
नहीं,
बताया।
इसका ऐसा नहीं है, सोचा नहीं है। इसका आंसर है प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन सिनर्जी प्लेटफॉर्म में, और जो S1 से S6 के लोगों की जो नीड फुलफिलमेंट है उसके बारे में सारा प्रोविजन है।
नीड फुलफिलमेंट सर, नीड फुलफिलमेंट नहीं, मैंने पूछा कि जो लोग विभिन्न प्रकार के काम करेंगे उनको जो आप सैलरी, अगर सैलरी रख रहे हैं तो, या कुछ और रख रहे हैं तो, वो कैसे तय करेंगे कि किसको क्या मिले। ये इसका बेस पूछा।
हाँ, तो मैं इसको थोड़ा सा आपको थोड़ा और उसमें ऐड मैं कर रहा हूँ कि केवल सैलरी ही एकमात्र तरीका नहीं है। ठीक है, हमें हल तक पहुंचना है। हमें सैलरी को इन्फोर्स नहीं करना कि जब तक सैलरी ज्यादा नहीं देंगे तो हमने नहीं दिया। आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि जो वर्कर कैटेगरी के लोग हैं, S1 और S2 के लोग हैं, उनकी जितनी भी सर्वाइवल और सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड नीड्स हैं उसकी जिम्मेदारी एम्प्लॉयर ले ले। तो अगर वो ले लेता है, क्योंकि आप मनी से रिलेट करेंगे तो फिर वो इन्फ्लेशन ड्रिवन हो जाएगी। आप उसको नीड फुलफिलमेंट से रिलेट कीजिए कि उसको इन्फ्लेशन फ्री कर दीजिए, कि यदि उसके घर में उचित धन धान्य, एक तरह से भोजन पहुंचना चाहिए, घर होना चाहिए, हेल्थ फैसिलिटी होनी चाहिए, एजुकेशन फैसिलिटी होनी चाहिए, तो वो सारी स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कर देते हैं। तो हमने इसको किया है, मैं आपको बता देता हूँ थोड़ा प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन में क्या किया है, कि 5 ऐसी सर्विसेज हैं जिसको हमने स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बना दिया है, जिसमें आती है एजुकेशन, हेल्थ, ऑर्फनेज सपोर्ट सिस्टम, सिंगल वुमेन सपोर्ट सिस्टम, और जो है आपका स्पेशल ह्यूमन नीड्स, अगर इस और ओल्ड एज सिस्टम। इन 5-6 नीड्स को अगर स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बना दिया जाए तो 60 से 70% जो हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंस है वो सभी का कम हो जाएगा। और वो सभी का कम हो जाने की वजह से जो ग्रीड है और जो डर है, क्योंकि व्यक्ति या तो भय में काम कर रहा है या लालच में काम कर रहा है, ठीक है, जबकि काम करना चाहिए समझ से। जैसा आइंस्टीन ने भी कहा था दैट इफ वी हैव पीपल हु वर्क ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फियर और ग्रीड देन वी हैव अ सॉरी लॉट, राइट। अगर सिर्फ दंड और दाम नीति से ही काम करने वाले लोग वर्कफोर्स हम बनाएंगे तो फिर हम उनसे अच्छा काम नहीं ले पाएंगे। तो साम नीति और भेद नीति से काम लेना चाहिए। तो साम नीति से काम लेने के लिए आपको उनके ऊपर से कैरेट एंड स्टिक को हटा के समझ को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी विल इम्प्लीमेंट इन दैट। तो ये है इसके अंदर प्रोविजन। अगर ये 70% बोझ हट गया हाउस होल्ड पे और आपने हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज को बराबर कर दिया। अभी क्या है, हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल, द क्वालिटी ऑफ हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द अफोर्डेबिलिटी ऑफ द पर्सन। That should not be the case. Every human being should become a national asset or international or global asset. कि जन्म चाहे किसी भी माता पिता के द्वारा लिया गया हो, पर उसको नेशनल एसेट या ग्लोबल एसेट माना जाए और स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वो बन जाए। तो ऐसे और भी बहुत सारे आइडियाज हैं, बाकी आपसे भी चर्चा करेंगे, आप भी अपने आइडियाज इसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं। जयरामन जी ने भी कुछ इसमें ऐड किया है कि आंसर फॉर अ यूनिफॉर्म सैलरी इज रिटर्न ऑन इंटेंजिबल where the returns are for each individual. In a company, this would work fairly. It can be easily introduced, and yes, to add to it, it can also be legally mandated. Right? अभी भी क्या है, जो जितनी भी कंपनीज हैं सब मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स और उनके थ्रू चलती हैं, यानी कि गवर्नमेंट ओन्स एवरी कंपनी। गवर्नमेंट जो है हर कंपनी को ओन करती है, तो गवर्नमेंट अपनी पॉलिसी ट्वीकिंग से हर कंट्री के ऊपर कंट्रोल ला सकती है, मैंडेट किया जा सकता है। कल को हम ये कह सकते हैं कि प्रॉफिट एवरी एम्प्लॉय हैज टू बी एन इक्विटी पार्टनर ऑफ अ कंपनी, ठीक है, और उसको भी उस प्रॉफिट में से इक्विटेबल हिस्सा मिलेगा। तो अगर हाँ जी,
पर मेरा सवाल वो नहीं था जो आप बता रहे थे। मैं उन्हीं के बारे में पूछ रहा था कि जो भी लोग काम कर रहे होंगे उनको जो भी आप देंगे, मान लिया एक उदाहरण के तौर पे पूछा जैसे सैलरी है, तो वो आप कैसे तय करेंगे कि ड्राइवर को कितना देंगे, मैनेजर को कितना देंगे, वो पूछ रहा था। वो तो ठीक है, वो आप स्टेट के उस पर उतना उन सब चीजों को
आप अमाउंट में पूछ रहे हैं और मैं उसका सब्जेक्टिव वो बता रहा हूँ कि किन पैरामीटर्स के बेस पे डिसाइड होगा। अमाउंट में नहीं बताया जा सकता कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर को 50,000 मिलेंगे और ड्राइवर को 25,000 मिलेंगे।
नहीं तो सैलरी तो आप तय करोगे ना, सैलरी तय कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हो, ये तो बताइए। अगर कर रहे हैं तो वो कैसे, किस आधार पे तय कर रहे होगे, वही पूछ रहा था।
हाँ, मैं आपको वही बता रहा हूँ कि आप अभी इसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे पैरामीटर्स हैं, फैक्टर्स हैं जिसको आप मतलब इंटीग्रेट किए बिना नहीं कर सकते। इसका आंसर ऐसा स्टेट नहीं है। वही मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि प्रधानमंत्री को 2 लाख मिलेंगे, एमपीए को इतने मिलेंगे, एमसी को इतने मिलेंगे। वो तो परफॉर्मेंस लिंक्ड तो होगा ही होगा। अगर 2 ड्राइवर भी हैं,
apart from the performance also, it depends upon the like mindset of an employer, like how it is. If he is more of the philanthropic side or an kind of actness, be to a driver, he spends more than a technical engineer, is what I believe. So it mainly depends upon the mindset of an employer.
We cannot reward non-performance. This is also something which we need to take care. कि आलसी लोग नहीं बनाने।
मेरा ये सवाल भी नहीं है ना, मेरा ये सवाल नहीं है। ये तो एक्सेप्शन निकाल देते थे ना, लग के कोई आलसी होगा क्या होगा। मैं उन लोगों की बात कर रहा हूँ जो ठीक है परफॉर्मेंस भी दे रहे होंगे, सब कुछ बढ़िया है। तो आप कोई भी सैलरी किसी की, उसका बेस क्या होगा कि जिससे आप तय करोगे कि इसको हम 1000 देंगे, इसको 1200 देंगे, इसको 10,000 देंगे, इसको 50,000 देंगे, इसको 10 लाख देंगे।
वो डिसाइड कर सकते हैं बेस्ड ऑन दी रोल। क्यों हो सकता है जो गोल्डन वर्ड ऑर्डर की हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें लगभग 40 से 50% रोल्स जो हम आज सुनने में आते हैं हमारे, वो खत्म ही हो जाएं। ठीक है, देयर विल बी सेवरल बिजनेसेस, सेवरल डोमेन्स विच विल बी क्लोज्ड फॉर एवर। क्योंकि जब भी कुछ रिफॉर्म होता है तो कुछ प्रोफेशंस बदलते हैं। तो जो वाइस सिटी, हाँ बोलिए
सर, जो रोल रहेंगे उनके बारे में पूछ रहा हूँ, जो हट जाएंगे।
तो जो रोल रहेंगे उनके बारे में एक कंसेंसस बिल्ड करके सब लोगों से उस पे इनपुट लेके, कॉम्पिटेंसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए, स्किल को ध्यान में रखते हुए, और जो डेमोग्राफिक वो है उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए, बहुत सारे फैक्टर हैं। इसीलिए इसका सीधा आंसर नहीं है, पर एक सीधा आंसर इसका ये हो सकता है कि जो भी होगा वो न्यायपूर्ण होगा और ह्यूमैनिटी को और स्पिरिचुअलिटी को ध्यान में रख के होगा।
पर उसकी कोई परिभाषा तो
And also it depends upon the geographical background where we do that business and why we are doing that business. So that is also an important factor to decide the salary of an employee.
हाँ, तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं, उनको हम डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। एक पूरा डेडिकेटेड सेशन आपने बिल्कुल ठीक इस मुद्दे को उठाया है, क्योंकि 99% के करीब या 90% लगा लीजिए वर्कफोर्स जो है वो उसी कैटेगरी में आती है, S1 और S2 कैटेगरी में। तो एक बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है एंड इट डिजर्व्स अ फुल डे डिस्कशन।
तो आप रखिए सर इस पर एक दिन आप इस पर डिस्कशन
करते हैं। मैं आप सब लोग को थोड़ा सा बता भी देता हूँ कि ये सिनर्जी प्लेटफॉर्म केवल सबमिट करने तक सीमित नहीं है। इसके बाद हम स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन वाइज वर्ल्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस। तो उसमें फंडा ये है कि अज्यूमिंग दैट वी ऑल आर लीडर्स, आप अज्यूम कर लीजिए, इसी तरीके से विजनरी लोग वर्क करते हैं। आप अज्यूम कर लीजिए कि आप इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं जी। और काम करना शुरू कर दीजिए। उसके अनुसार पॉलिसी फ्रेमवर्क, लोगों को इंक्लूड करना, उसके हिसाब से जो है सिस्टम्स डेवलप करना और शुरू कर दीजिए। तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम वाइज कंट्री कॉन्फ्रेंस लॉन्च कर देंगे जिसमें आप भारतीय संसद के बराबर उसको मान सकते हैं और वहां पे इस सारी बातों की हम चर्चा करेंगे। हाँ, वो तो ठीक है। ऑफ मॉक पार्लियामेंट इट विल बी अ रियल अल्टरनेटिव टू द पार्लियामेंट। ओके इट्स या ये तो अच्छा रहेगा। मैं थोड़ा बस रोकूंगा क्योंकि एक्चुअली हमारे अगले स्पीकर का टाइम हमने 11 मिनट ले लिया है उसमें से, तो अब ये मेरे कैंडिड कन्वर्सेशन में जाके कट जाएगा। तो with this, thanks Chinmai ji. We look forward to having more interactions with you in future and more synergy creation. Now with this, I would like to invite my colleague Sophie Secura. Sophie, are you there? Yes. Yeah. So I would like to invite Sophie Secura to invite our next speaker on the dais.
Thank you, Hitesh, and thank you, Ms. Praveen, for all your wonderful insights. It now gives me great pleasure in inviting Dr. Ugandar as our second speaker of the day. Dr. Ugandar Jiar is an awakened one on the path of spiritual mastery, a visionary, and also a pioneer in transformational medicine. He has dedicated his life for the awakening of human consciousness, which he calls spirituality. He is trained as a general surgeon in conventional system of medicine, yet he advocates the efficacy of inner transformation as a major healing tool. His most favorite work is Awakening of Hara Consciousness, which he discovered in his early childhood without the help of any teacher or guru. He is very passionate about studying various spiritual schools of thought, whether ancient or modern, across the world, and his extensive study of healing arts, scriptures, metaphysics, and his love for connectedness with the wise, physical and non-physical, made him attain great exposure in diverse fields of knowledge related to spirituality. He is the initiator and mastermind behind the World Parliaments on Spirituality, nationwide global transformation festivals, and We Are One summits. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to his vision for creating a golden or wise world order. Please welcome our second speaker of the day, Dr. Ugandar.
Welcome, Dr. Ugandar.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the dignitaries, the panelists, and all the delegates who are attending this event organized by the Parivartan Project. A special word of thanks to Hitesh ji, the founder of this organization. Today, I'm asked to speak on the golden age, my views on golden age. What I'm speaking today is nothing is prepared by me, nothing is structured. I'm just going whatever comes and whatever has been in my mind already. I would like to share with all of you. What is this golden age all about? Why are people so longing about this, thinking about this, trying to manifest this? at individual level and the mass level. Why do we need it at all? The so-called golden age appears to be highly utopic, empirical, and hypothetical. It's an idea, basically. It's a vision. It's a dream. But it needs a lot of efforts to bring it to fruition. What are efforts are required? Efforts at individual level are very much required for every human being across the world in all continents. The efforts not in terms of bringing change or transformation in the visible world, in the visible world. The change and transformation is very much required within. The consciousness needs a tremendous change. The consciousness needs a different frequency. It needs a paradigm shift for every individual to understand his own nature. A shift from identifying oneself with what he is in the outer world to what he really is. This paradigm shift is absolutely needed for the size of issues and problems and situations each individual and whole society is facing at large. What are the problems we are facing at large? All types of problems are being faced. The major problem is environmental issue, the climatic changes, greenhouse effect, melting down of glaciers, cutting down of trees, soil erosions, scarcity of good soil, water, good air, pollution of all the elements, including the mind. In fact, the root of all pollutions is mental pollution only. Apart from that, the issues and problems in health, so many types of contagious diseases, lifestyle diseases are becoming more and more rampant. Every day, a new syndrome or a new disease is being identified in some or other place of the world. Educational models are broken down. Education has been identified with memorizing things, converting this brain as a storage space. When inner transformation, logic, reasoning are taking backseat, schooling has been identifying with education, and it is not really not. The social issues, respect for women, respect for youth, parenting, political breakdown, emotional breakdown, financial breakdown, professional and vocational breakdown, career breakdowns. This world has become a hub of so many types of breakdowns. Administrative breakdowns, societal breakdowns, and individual breakdowns. The solution for all these breakdowns is really creating a breakthrough of awakening one's consciousness. Awakening of consciousness never happens en masse. The real change, a real awakening is always individual in nature. Change happens only at individual level. The change in individuals can work together as a team, as a group, as an organization, as a movement. This can happen. But individuals need a change as a top priority to move forward collectively. Individual consciousness followed by the combined efforts of collective consciousness is the rule. The individual consciousness is always the root. But we certainly need teams. Larger dreams need larger teams. Bigger visions need bigger teams. Bigger groups are required. Many awakened individuals are very much required immediately to work on all types of breakdowns from individual level to societal level to governmental level. And all this happens with the help of spiritual transformation through meditation and other methods. If this doesn't become our daily routine, the spiritual transformation doesn't become part of our daily routine, the same breakdowns will be continued and so-called golden age will remain as a dream. And for the size of 7.8 billion population at present, in all countries of the world, with India and China occupying almost 40% of the world population, tremendous change is direly required, especially in these two countries. And it does not mean that other countries are in a better place, they do not need all these things. Every country, small or big, every state, every county, every municipality, every village, every ward, everywhere the change is required. The psychological and emotional software has to be rebooted. The change is change in the psychological software. That's the real change. Without changing this emotional software, trying to work on something called as change in the societal world will certainly remain utopic. Will certainly remain only as a dream. So, inner transformation is a top priority, and in fact, the first step in really manifesting the so-called golden age. If golden age happens in a big way, how it would be? If golden age happens, everything will be more peaceful, happier, harmonious. There will be less conflict. There will be discussion on ideas. Power mongering will be very much less. Once upon a time, there was a civilization where there was so much of technological advance. So much of technological advance at the cost of spiritual enlightenment. When power comes without enlightenment, without the basic inner awakening, power mongering starts, power struggles start, which lead to wars, mass destruction. That's how so many spiritual masters across the world spoke about the sinking of major continents like Atlantis or Sumeria. Why such large land masses went into the water? Just because technological advance without spiritual advance. Spiritual advance is the precursor. Spiritual advance is the prerequisite. Spiritual advance is the must for a preparation for all types of growth, progress, and evolution in all dimensions of social reality. Everyone needs spiritual transformation. It is not about the so-called intellectuals, the so-called people who work for change. No. Everyone has got a vital role, a very important role. By way of changing oneself, he changes the world. Changing the world without changing oneself is a crass stupidity. You cannot change. Changing oneself is a most important step of this great process of global spiritual awakening. Meditation circles, spiritual organizations, all the spiritual teachers, all the spiritual seekers, all the spiritual businessmen for whom spirituality is a business, spiritual book authors, spiritual healers, spiritual educators, spiritually self-styled environmentalists. So many people who work under the name of spirituality, who think and feel and believe that they are spiritual, need to come onto one platform. All types of people who think and feel different degree, different capacities, doesn't matter. They need to come onto one platform. Individual efforts for a common vision, a boundaried efforts for common vision, doesn't lead to anywhere. All these barriers, all these self-limitations, all these boundaries, all these mind-driven horizons need to be erased once for all, and all these people need to coalesce. I'm not talking about collaborations. They need to be coalesced. Coalesced means they need to come together, keeping away all their self-brands. Individual self-branding or organizational self-branding, whatever. That is called coalescence. For me, this is the highest way of understanding things. This coalescence happens only when awakened individuals come and meet and share ideas. The whole world, in the name of spirituality, in the name of awakening, in the name of change, also is suffering from but my way style of things. What is but my way? I want change. I want progress. I'm aiming for evolution of the world. But my way is the highway. Your way is definitely not a highway, because it is not incongruent with how I am doing, how I am thinking, how I am working. Just because something or someone is not incongruent with someone else, they don't work. They either collaborate on paper, move forward, but at the end, it's only futile exercise. It will turn into futile exercise. All attempts turned into abortive attempts. The real coalescence is different from coalition. Coalition means, you have seen political governments, when the counts are low, they create a new body, two larger political bodies join, and they work together to complete the term of 5 years. This is what is a coalition. When political people themselves, the political people who are supposed to be the most egoistic, self-centered, power-mongering, supposed to be, don't think otherwise, if anyone is a politician here, with due respect. But it is believed like that in common man's world. Even those people, when situation strikes, they come for a coalition. But spiritual people should not work in coalition. They need coalescence, a complete union, a complete unity. Because life is very short. We are not going to live for a long time. Even if a person lives for 100 years, his lifespan in days is going to be 36,500 days. In these 36,500 days, the first 20 years and last 20 years are not much productive. That means his lifespan is only 20,000 days. And 1/3 of this 20,000 days is going for sleep. What is the lifespan? Active lifespan, active working hours is around 12,000 days. Our lifespan is only 12,000 days. Even if we are supposed to live for 100 years, our productive lifespan is only 12,000 days. We are ephemerals. We are not immortals. Okay, some might be thinking or aiming to be an immortal. That's a different issue. But majority are mortals. Majority, 99.999% are mortals. We are going to transit from this frequency to other frequency after some time. We are in the queue. Everyone is in the queue, but unaware that we are in a queue. Just because we are not seeing anyone in front or behind, like a beeline, the way we understand queue. In a different frequency, we are all in a queue. When the death is going to strike to anyone, we don't know at all. So in this ephemeral span, for all the spiritual beings, my call is come and join the coalesced movements. The coalescence is strong, unity coalescence is required. A strong unity consciousness is required. This is going to be the real change. This is going to be the real platform for the real parivartana of the world. Not only in India, everywhere, all continents, every island nations, known, less known, much less known. Everywhere, human beings' nature is same. All these people need to be invited. And of course, all cannot join because all are not transformed beings. So a critical mass is always proposed by the elders, the spiritual elders. A critical mass, like at least 1% of the world population to begin with, they should come. The basic critical mass will be attained. Unconditionally, this unconditional unity consciousness is very much required. Birds of same feather flocking together is not a surprise, it's not a big thing. It is much common. But birds of different plumages, different colors, different sizes, different shapes, coming together for the common vision, for common purpose, that is the real miracle of the world. The golden age happens only when birds of different feathers and colors join together for the common purpose and vision. Like I have a screen of different colors in the backdrop, incidentally. All these colors need to come to turn into white light. Each individual is like a color. When we all join, we turn into a beautiful, brilliant, radiant light. We are going to take bath in this radiant light. This is what is required. The golden light is required. And that happens only with the coalescence of all types of people who think, feel, and believe that they are spiritual. So that much I would like to say for now. And I welcome the moderators and the participants here, my co-panelists, to give their inputs or any questions so that I can take it as an opportunity to share more.
This unity consciousness, the consciousness of oneness is very, very critical. And this is where we are also attempting through Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform that at the destination level, of course, we all will be one. We all are one. But the declined consciousness levels from where we are currently operating, even coming together from that level is also possible. Synergizing at that level is also possible to begin with. Of course, we don't need to stand here. You need to keep walking. So this is high time. And I think this is the most opportune time for a soul to elevate. Enough trigger, enough stimulus is there in the ecosystem, in the macrocosm, for all of us to act together towards a common destination. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ugandar. It was really a very wonderful session and totally impromptu, spontaneous, and directly coming from the heart. Right, so I can see that coming. Okay, anyone having any question, please raise your hand. And there is one more point that we have got today from Dr. Ugandar, that birds of same feather or similar feather flock together is an old saying, but time has come wherein birds of different feathers should also flock together. All these distinctions between human beings based on caste, creed, religion, country, and the way of life should now go away. And to do that, everyone must come out of their hard stand, hard positioning, right? We should not treat ourselves as knowing all till the time we have developed the ability to bring everyone together. So till then, let us stay open. Maybe the other person has something which you are looking for. Maybe God has sent them to you to improve yourself. So with this openness, we will continue to move forward in Project Yuga Parivartan. I would like my panelists also to ask few questions from Dr. Ugandar. Yes, Praveen ji.
I would request Dr. Ugandar to spell out how like each of us, tries to create an organization, and we get kind of fall in love with our individual organizations. So across organizations, how do we create synergies? What is your take on that? How do we make the good doers of the world to unite and come together so that a huge impact is created and any particular evil on earth is put rest to? So how would you guide us on synergy creation?
How do organizations can work?
Yes,
together?
we tend to become in love with our own small world. How do we break and come out of it and synergize with the rest of the good doers of the world?
Yeah. See, the point is here. 1 century before, exactly 1 century before, 100 years before, religions ruled the rooster. Of course, still they are ruling. But I'm saying 100 years because spirituality has become a mass phenomenon during this 100 years. Unlike the previous years, spirituality used to exist in pockets of human inhabitation. But now, everywhere you go, every bookstall you visit, you open a newspaper, open your social media, everywhere there are words of positivity, there are words of spirituality, there are words of love, courage, and kindness. Religious fundamentalism has been the main culprit of the religious faiths. Religion is only a belief system and nothing else. Because the so-called Semitic religions, what are Semitic religions? The religions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Some people call communism also as religion. And religion is driven by faith and fundamentalism. And to create a real change, the nature has taken a different configuration. The configuration chosen is by way of creating not another religion in this world. If we create another religion or another sect or another cult, another competitive organization, it will be more conflicting and confusing rather than creating peace and harmony. So the nature has reconfigured itself, rebooted itself to highlight, promote, emphasize the importance of the essence of all religions, that is spirituality. Now, spirituality has to take the front seat and religions need to take the back seat. And everywhere across the world, the direction of the energy of change is moving from the fundamentalism of the religion into spirituality. Though they are not able to understand spirituality totally or in depth or at required level, but still people are preferring to change themselves in terms of spirituality than religion. And slowly, so many spiritual organizations are mushroomed everywhere. I'm using the word spiritual organizations. The word organization came from the word organ. Organ means not complete, not holistic, not total, but a part of it, only a part of it. They do not represent the whole. Because they do not represent the whole, they are called as organizations. The spiritual organizations too have something called as spiritual fundamentalism. Like there has been religious fundamentalism prevailing. There is the element of spiritual fundamentalism as well. The spiritual organizations need to again reconfigure themselves to aim for the real change instead of but my way style of change. Only when you follow certain rules, certain principles of the particular organization, you are called as yogi, you are called as a preceptor, you are called as acharya, or you are called as something else. It is not like that. The language of the organization has become more typical and stereotyped. While spirituality doesn't, the real spirituality doesn't follow all this stereotypedness. Real spirituality doesn't follow any type of typicality. So all these names, brands, prefixes, suffixes, whatsoever, are all moving in the direction of building another type of fundamentalism called as spiritual fundamentalism, but yet it is better than religious fundamentalism. So we have definitely reached a step ahead. We have moved from the lower step to higher step by way of shifting the mass consciousness of the world from religious fundamentalism to spiritual fundamentalism. Definitely good, but not better. The better thing is now is these organizational leaders, the organizational leadership rather, should focus on leadership instead of leaders, teachings instead of teacher, authenticity instead of authority. When you focus on authenticity instead of authority, teachings more than teacher, wisdom more than wise man, leadership instead of leaders, the barriers and definitions and descriptions of each individual or my style of doing things will slowly fade out and create this coalescence I was talking about. I was emphasizing about rather vigorously. So this coalescence of organizational leadership has to happen, and this happens with so much type of efforts. So much of work is required, both at a higher level and at a grassroots level. All levels, attempts are needed to pierce through these barriers, self-created, man-made, matricial barriers. This man-made matrix of human emotions and mind need to be completely annihilated for a better change, a real change. This happens as a mass wave. When mass wave happens at a grassroots level, the pivotal people who control things, monitor things, they will be losing their own power and join the mainstream. That happens. So, the spiritual individuals who are leading the spiritual organizations need to understand the importance of a massive global scale, real, unconditional coalescence. This happens through education of each and everyone, from grassroots level to apical level. Everyone needs education. Everyone needs to be affected by this mass way of so-called golden age. Golden age is basically the nature's decision. The decision of nature is always final, is always thorough, is always perfect. Anything against nature doesn't work out. Now the direction of energy is inevitably towards the manifestation of a sustainable golden age. This is the need of the hour, where we all need to be part and parcel of it. We all need. Every person's role has got tremendous value, tremendous significance. No one should think that what I'm just one among 7.8 billion population. If not me, someone else will do it. No, if not you, no one is going to do it. If not us, no one is going to do it. If not now, no one is going to do it. It is now and here, you and me and everyone should join the energy of coalescence of spiritual transformation on a global scale to really see the golden age in our lifetimes. I wish to see this so-called golden age in my lifetime, certainly. In all our lifetimes. Why should we postpone or take another incarnation to manifest it? Let us do it completely,
Sure.
fully, totally.
Sure. This exactly is our feeling also, that let's not wait for the next life for the golden age to be manifested. Let us do that in this life itself. And as you have rightly said, your this new word of coalescence is really very interesting, and it has generated a lot of curiosity, because in Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform, we are working in a non-judgmental way, wherein all types of ideologies, all types of thinking processes are invited to come together and stay together, because there are certain principles that we should not forget, that coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is a success. So when we stay together, we come to know more about each other, and that brings enlightens all those dark spots, blind spots, due to which people are not able to feel the oneness. So this is really great, Dr. Ugandar, although there are certain things in which we need more clarity. So probably in any future dedicated session, we would love to ask you more questions regarding that, especially related to the organization structure that you are thinking about, how to transform the world into golden age through by avoiding all the nouns that were given to other organizations. So that's something which several organizations struggle with, that without noun, without a name, without taking the ownership and accountability, how can we move forward? So good. Thanks, Dr. Ugandar. So this brings us to the time for our next speaker to come to the dais and share his views about the golden age ecosystem. So I would like to invite my colleague, Praveen Mehraji, to introduce our next speaker of the day to the audience.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you. Pranam, sir.
Pranam.
Friends, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our next speaker for the day, Guru Mitra Shivaji, the founder of Dakshina Foundation. Guru Mitra Shivaji is a mystic, a powerful leader, visionary, and a great inspirational master who envisions humanity to experience life to its fullest. He was awakened by the grace of Goddess Raja Matangi Devi at an early age and transformed into a spiritual guru. To the millions acquainting him, he is nothing but a man of wisdom who transforms people with his impeccable yet simple approach of experiencing life in its truest form. He has his unique way of transferring wisdom by making people learn through experience rather than merely sharing knowledge. His teachings are straightforward and simple, bringing out a blend of spiritual, moral, and material revolution. Guru Mitra Shivaji is a bodhisattva who has devoted his power, energy, and life to elevate mankind. As an embodiment of compassion, kindness, and love, he has chosen to live amongst us and propagate the essence of spiritual wisdom. With the grace of Goddess Matangi, his articulation of speech is full of life and zeal, and with such power, knowledge, and proficiency that it touches one's soul. His technique helps people gain all prosperities of life and attain fulfillment, thereby transcending the materialistic world and ultimately advance towards the path of truth. Sir, I remember very distinctly, Guruji, that you also have taken up the accountability of creating a number of self-actualized leaders. And that is where we actually met you and synergized with you. I've listened to you in your Tamil preachings, and you were so elegant and eloquent. I'm so proud that I belong to the same city as you. So I introduce to you, friends, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, respected Guru Mitra Shivaji. Pranam, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Praveen, and namaste, vanakkam to all of you who are in this global summit. And thank you, Hitesh, for giving this opportunity to share with all the proud delegates.
It's a pleasure to hear you.
Yeah, you're all here for one reason, that itself gives me tremendous energy, and I feel so happy. The one thought process, of uniting all these people is not an easy task. I think you have done a great job, Hitesh. How far we are going, that's not the point. And what is going to be the outcome of this whole effort is not the point, but the point is we are all here right now. We are here for a cause which is going to elevate the whole mankind. The path may be different. The methodology may be different. The strategy may be different. There could be so many differences, but the end result, I think, we all want to be we are all traveling for the one destiny, is what I strongly believe, which made me, to be a part of this wonderful mission, which we're all trying to travel. And I always believe that it starts with a small beginning, and with the divine grace, if everybody focuses on what we are trying to, achieve by, getting together, I think this is not, the golden age is not far away. It's right here. It's not about we are going to do something today and we are going to achieve tomorrow. The very unity itself is a big achievement, is what I would say. What we talk and what we do is immaterial, but there is some synergy which has made us all together here, which itself gives me a tremendous pleasure. And thank you, for all the organizers. Before I start, sharing something, I thank all the organizers, and especially Hitesh and his team, Praveen. I see so many people whom some people I have already met and some people I have not yet met, but still, you guys have done a great job. Hats off to you. I want to share so many things, but given the time limit and everything, I want to share a little bit of here and there. Two important, thought process, which has been my biggest challenge right from when I started my foundation. One thing is the golden age, what we are talking, to reach there, with the people, with the whole world and everybody, to move towards that particular destiny. The biggest thing is we need to make people experience the truth bit by bit. I always, felt it. It is only the experiential aspect of life gives tremendous wisdom to the humanity, rather than the knowledge. The knowledge and experience are the two different things. If knowledge goes beyond the experience, people think that they know, but 99% of the people who think what they know and what they truly have experienced, what wisdom they already have, there is a huge gap, is what I'm saying. And that is the biggest challenge what we are facing in the world today. A lot of people, they think they know about the truth. They know what is divinity, what is energy, what is prana, whatever we are spiritually, we are talking, what the ancient masters have told. But people think they know, but now this is the biggest problem, and there is a huge gap between, between knowledge and experience, and that's where we wanted to crack that, and the program, what we are doing right now in the name of alchemy, in the name of various, programs called Divija, and, some of the people from the project Yuga Parivartan have attended my sessions, full sessions, completely, maybe the level 1, and, a couple of people have done level 2, I don't know. It is completely process driven. We don't teach anything. Actually, there is absolutely no teaching. And even while we do this, which is completely process driven, the experience gives them tremendous wisdom, not knowledge, wisdom, unbelievable wisdom. But once they get into, after going through the program, and they are in touch with the foundation, and we are constantly grooming them, to remain in that experience, so that we have a very strong follow-up system. We have initiated that, and our core team is working to, put them on track with the practices and the processes which we have taught them. But still, we find tremendous challenge in keeping them on that pace. And the more they are into the practices and they apply the techniques, and more experience they gain, gives them the tremendous energy to stay in this path and move forward, meticulously. Because the whole world pulls them down, and they are back to the same rut again. And they go down, and again, we need to push them and pull them. So what I'm trying to tell is, is keeping up, the people on the track of this experiential aspect of life is what gives them tremendous wisdom, and, evolve into a golden age, rather than merely getting into as a knowledge. Because knowledge and experience, they are diametrically opposite. When a person accumulates too much of knowledge without any experience, gives them tremendous ego. He falls into ego. He thinks he knows. That is the biggest danger. And that is the biggest challenge for us to, take the whole world towards the golden age, is what I'm saying. That's where the connectivity happens with the whole existence. That's where the connectivity happens with the humanity. Because this experience is what makes us join together, because that's where you get the energy. The feel of life, the real vital energy which is happening within us, which connects the whole existence as one. This mere knowledge doesn't give you anything, because it's one more garbage. We get a degree, go to college, and get into some degree, and we think we know everything. But end of the day, it is the experience which makes us what we are, and that's what is going to give you the right kind of fruit of life, what we are living. So that's where I feel the challenge of reaching where we want to, reach. No matter what the methodology, each and every one of us joined here have got to, move this forward. But we all come together with the experience of truth. That experience, what we go through, the energy, which is flowing inside me, the feel which I get when I go through, when I experience life, is the same. Methodology may be different, knowledge may be different, the words what I use may be different. But end of the day, the feel cannot be different. The feel is the same. The feel of oneness, the feel of energy, the feel of tremendous connectivity with the cosmos. And that feel and that energy and that synergy which makes us, bring us all together, is what going to give us the fuel to move forward in this direction, and gives us tremendous motivation to pursue this path and reach wherever we want to reach, is what I feel. Because the moment we try to impart this wisdom, this flawless, profound, spiritual wisdom to the people, they immediately change into knowledge and it goes inside the head. It's one of the biggest challenges which I'm facing. I don't know, most of you would have, the leaders here, the masters who are here, who are into the spiritual path, I'm damn sure you would have felt it. But this is the challenge. I always feel that when I leave this body and go, whatever energy or vibration, the little things which I want, I'm sharing it with people and see the transformation, what is happening with the people who come and attend the sessions, what we conduct. I really look at them, whether this will continue even after I leave is a biggest, big question mark I have. And I'm already started working towards it to, establish this experiential aspect of life, with them, even after I leave, That is where the real challenge is, what I'm saying. Because over a period of time, so many masters have come and gone. Now, why the gap happened is, slowly, the experiential, when the living master is there, present there, the energy is there. All the past, the great legends of, the history of mankind, there are so many masters who have come and gone. When the live master is there, the energy is very different. When the master leaves, after that, it becomes knowledge. And after a few years or few hundreds of years, it just becomes a ritual. And after that, nobody understands, no connectivity. And, people get lost completely. And not only they get lost, they lose hope of the true wisdom because they're not experiencing it. It just simply becomes a philosophy. That should not happen. And I strongly feel that if we can establish this experientially completely into a bunch of very few people, this can go very quickly. The golden age, whatever we are talking, can go far away. And this will give us tremendous energy and power. Vivekananda said, I need about 100 people to change the entire India. He means the 100 leaders, 100, unfluttered, flawless, profound leaders who have gone through this truth experientially, not just mere knowledge. That 100 people can change the whole India. 100 people is too big, is what I'm saying, because one guy with the ultimate experience can be a nuclear bomb, is what I say. So I strongly feel that we need to, all the people, the noble people here, we need to focus on the vertical rather than horizontal, going in depth of what we are trying to impart with the whole world. We need to create very powerful, experiential leaders. And these are the real powerful people, even if they are small in number, if the depth is there, if they are vertically rooted on the truth, very strongly, experientially, not mere knowledge, then the whole ball game is different. The kind of progress which we are going to see in this mission of reaching the golden age, I feel it is not far away. It all depends on a few bunch of real committed experiential leaders, is what I believe. So it is, I always feel that then that's where we are trying to create the whole leadership. And that's exactly what I was talking to Hitesh when I met him, my good friend, when I met him in Chennai, with all your delegates and everybody. That's what I was sharing with you. And the most important thing here is, before we expect anything out of anyone, I would say what value each one of us has going to offer who are keenly involved in this. The value proposition, what we are going to offer to the world, is what is going to come back with tremendous amount of energy. And that is the energy which is going to, take us very quickly towards the destiny, whatever we are trying to reach. And in this summit, I would like to share one of the greatest wisdom, which I always share in the program. The key thing is there is a rule which I call, to put this rule in a nutshell, I call this a formula called being, doing, and having. Okay, which I wanted to share. This is the fundamental key formula to, get what we want out of it. When I say being, doing, and having is a law of nature, I'm putting it as a formula, okay, which I want to share it with everyone. Now, when I say being, okay, the first step of how the nature works is all the beings in the world have defined themselves, what they are going to do, why they are, the purpose of life, why in the first instance they have come to this world. Their definition of what they are going to offer to the world is what I call as a being. Every being, there are about approximately 85 lakh, different kinds of living beings in the planet, has come to this planet for a particular purpose. There is a certain definition of being, why they are here, because every being is connected. The whole existence is one harmonious unity. So every being, in a way or other, they're all connected together, and there is a big synergy which is there in the whole cosmos. Now, as human beings, we are all here for a particular purpose. It could be any, we are here for a spiritual, to take this whole thing into a golden age. Yes, there are millions and millions of people who are doing so many things in this world. Now, whatever field they are, whatever profession they are, whatever, work they are doing, or whatever business they are running, let it be, But this one principle of nature, if a person follows, they'll become part of the truth. They will become, a big synergy will happen in what they are doing and what the existence is trying to do with the whole world. There can be a tremendous synergy. That is the first step, is what I'm saying is being. Okay, that is the definition. What I'm going to do now. The definition of your life, your purpose of life, what I'm going to do is the first step. A person should be very, very clear. No matter what happens, this definition should not change. Tomorrow, my financial status is not working properly. Now I'm going to change the being. No, you cannot touch that. This is your core being. You cannot change it. Once it is defined, means defined. No matter heaven or hell, hook or crook, you need to do that. That is what I call it as being. Okay, this is point number one. Now, doing, the second. Now, whatever I have defined and I promised to deliver to the whole world, in my definition of being, now I am going to execute this in my doing phase. That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to turn this side or that side. Even one iota of, deviation is not going to happen. This is exactly what I've defined in my life. And that is what is called, I'm calling it as being. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to execute whatever I have defined. Okay, this is the step 2. Now, step 3, I call it as having. The moment you define what value proposition you're going to offer to the whole world, that is your being. And the moment you are committed in executing whatever value proposition you want to give it to the world, it could be anything. It could be anything. Whatever it is, you may be a business person, you may be a profession, you may be working under a company, a private company, a public company, or it could be an NGO, or you're a homemaker, or whatever it is. It could be any profession. Now, this is your being, this is your doing. You're going to execute that. The moment you do it wholeheartedly, meticulously, as an offering to the whole world. Yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. Now, the moment you deliver whatever is your being, now having is going to be automatic process. You don't have to run behind what you're going to get out of it. The having flows into you. Whatever you deserve, it will come and fall into your space. Now, this is how the nature works. The nature always, I'm not saying it as a philosophy. There is no philosophy here. It is the rule of the nature. If you follow it, absolutely everything is yours. And there is, when you're in complete sync with the nature, your mind is very relaxed. You move to a different dimension of life, is what I'm trying to tell. From being to doing to having is how the nature flows. So there is no philosophy here. And this is the process which the nature goes. So let me give you a small example in order to understand this thing as a layman. Let's take a mango seed. Okay, a mango seed. Now this mango seed, it has been a creation of the existence. Now this mango seed, when it is in the seed form itself, it has decided what I'm going to offer to the whole world. There is no doubt in it. Now the mango seed, the definition of this mango seed is very clear. See, this is exactly what I'm going to give to the world. If you put me on the soil, on Mother Earth, I'm going to grow like this. My branches are going to be like this. My leaves are going to be like this. My trunk is going to be like this. I'm going to deliver a beautiful flower like this. And finally, I'm going to produce beautiful mangoes like this. And this is exactly what I'm going to offer to the world. I have defined myself. Even before delivering it, it'll take about 4 or 5 years or 6 years for me to deliver. But I have decided this is my birth. This is my birthright. The divine has created me for this purpose. Now, this is exactly what I'm going to do. There is no doubt whether what do I get out of it, I don't care. But this is what I'm going to deliver is what the seed is saying. Now, if I put the seed on the Mother Earth, tomorrow, neem tree will not come. A guava tree will not come. A grapes tree will not come. Only a mango tree will come. No doubt about that. So this is what I call it as a state of being. Okay, the definition is done. No matter what happens, whether I live or die, I'm going to deliver mangoes is what the seed has decided. Okay, this is state 1. And when the seed is sown on the mud, the tree starts growing. Exactly whatever the seed has defined, the tree is growing exactly. The trunk is exactly the same way it grows. The branches are there. The leaves are there. Flowers are there. And finally, the mango is there. And it has delivered to the whole world. What it has defined, I have delivered it. I'm so happy. No matter what happens, I decided to give this. I have given this. Fine. Now the whole world comes, oh my God, look at this beautiful mangoes I've got. Oh my God, it is so tasty. Now the whole humanity comes and enjoys the fruit. And they say, oh my God, I'm not going to leave this tree now. Now this guy has given me such a beautiful, fruit which is so tasty. How can I leave it? Now man goes and buys acres of land. And he invests millions and millions of dollars and rupees into the land. Brings hundreds of people, plans a huge project of having a big mango grove, and prepares the soil, prepare the manure, bring water from every nook and corner, and try to give everything to that seed. Now the seed just looks at, oh my God, look at me. The whole humanity is working for me. They have created a wonderful soil for me. Oh my God, the manure is there. Look at the sun, look at the sunlight. I'm getting the best of the water. And over and above, the man of sixth sense is working like a dog for me. And I'm getting whatever I want to get. I'm not able to speak. A tree which is not able to speak, not able to move, gets everything from where he is or she is. Now the having automatically flows. because my definition is clear. I am going to offer to this world. Now look at the humanity. Look at the human beings. The first thing a parent wants his child is, right now, I am working in this not an organization. I am working in this organization. I am earning so much of X amount of dollars or X amount of rupees. Say, for example, if I'm earning about 1 lakh a month, my son should earn a minimum of 10 lakhs. My son should earn minimum of so much of money, minimum 20 lakhs. If my son wants to earn 20 lakhs, now, what education should I give it to him in order to earn the 20 lakhs? First, the having comes, not the being. If I want, I'm going to run this business. Now, how much will I get out of this business? I'm going to start this profession. I'm going to become a doctor. If I become a doctor, how much will I earn? Now, the having comes first. Now, if at all I want to earn about 50 lakhs a month, then what should I do? Now, what should my family do? What should my daughter do? What should my son do? Is the first goal. So the having comes first. Now, if at all I want to earn about 50 lakhs, for example, either my son can do a big business, which needs tremendous investment, or maybe if he wants to go for a profession, maybe doctor profession is one of the profession which I can make my son mint money. Okay, son, why don't you become a doctor? Now, this guy, the goal is not to, whether I can become the best doctor in the world or not is the goal. My goal is right from the seed form. The goal is I need to earn 50 lakhs is the seed which has been sown inside his mind. So his goal is to earn 50 lakhs. So the having comes first. Now this having defines your being now. This having defines your doing now. Now, in order to earn 50 lakhs a month, now what should I do now? I need to go to this college. I need to do so many things. I need to learn all these things. In every moment, whatever I do, I'm not here to learn the real human physiology. I'm here, just because I want to earn 50 lakhs. For this, I need to study. The whole illusion changes now. Now, this guy, after hard work, becomes a doctor. And that's what his being is defined. And if he goes and starts treating the people, his mind will always remain on the having, which is completely against the nature. Now, there is another person who lived in a village, who had a very tough time leading a normal life. His father was struggling like anything in order to make him learn and study and educate and bring him up. Let's say his mother suffered out of cancer, a hypothetical case, and this guy and his father took so much of effort in trying to save his mother. They couldn't do it. Mother passed away. And this guy, got hurt a lot. And he takes a vow. Oh my God, my mother. I lost my mother because there was not a proper medical facility in my village or in my town. And I'm taking this vow today. I don't want any other mother in this city or in this place should die in future. So I'm going to serve this whole humanity around me. Nobody should die out of cancer. And that kind of a vow this guy takes away. And his being is set now. Now what his purpose of life has been defined. That's why the divine has shown me this path. Now I'm going to learn everything about this particular problem, what we call it as cancer. And this guy goes nook and corner in the world. He will go crazy to learn anything and everything about cancer. Because his whole volition is to eradicate cancer. That's his whole being. His whole heart will be there. Because he has defined that's his being. He's not bothered about how he is going to do. There is no doing here. First, the being is established. Once this core has gone into his heart, nobody can stop him. This guy will become a nuclear bomb. Nobody can stop him. Once the being is established, he is in complete synergy with the existence. The energies will flow, the divine grace will come, the blessing will be there, because he has defined, he is there for a particular purpose. It could be anything. I'm giving you a just hypothetical example. The moment this being is established in his heart very deeply, then the doing, nobody can stop. Whatever may be the obstacles coming to him, this guy will run like a mad guy in executing whatever he wants to do in life. Because the whole existence, he is completely in synergy with the existence. The whole existence pours on him. And he becomes one of the greatest doctors, because all the patients who come, the cancer patients, this guy, hook or crook, he will try to save them. And the whole wisdom falls into his head. The entire divine blessing, he gets everything. And he becomes one of the greatest doctors in the world compared to the first case. And the whole world will go to only this guy, not the guy one who wants to make 50 lakhs every month. Now, if this guy does a job like this with complete offering, with complete value, what he wants to deliver, now his value will be the highest in this particular field. The moment he delivers that, the whole world, the money will just flow into him. The whole world will want to, come to this particular person. He doesn't have to run behind money. He doesn't have to run behind fame. He doesn't have to run behind power. He doesn't have to run behind awards. His very presence becomes a big benediction to the whole society. Because he is in tune with the existence. He is tuned with the whole existence. The being, doing, and having. Not having, doing, being. This is the crux. If a person is able to follow this, what value I am going to offer rather than what I am going to get out of this. In every field, especially in the field what we are talking right now, in this global summit where we are trying to go there and try to change the whole world and try to bring them everything together. What I am going to offer in order to reach that experientially is what matters. So this is where we need to get established. This is where I strongly feel my being is what is driving me today. I don't have any second thought. There is no looking here and there. Path is clear. The moment the being is established, the path will be very clear. Decision making will be precise. You will have a tremendous clairvoyance. No two way about it. No second thought. All the motivational concepts, whatever people are talking, will fall into place automatically. The focus will be there. The moment the focus is there, the energy will start flowing. Where the energy flows, manifestation happens. And how will the energy flow? There has to be a clear-cut definition of your core being, which you're born for it. And if you are in synergy with that, the process becomes effortless. A mango tree can effortlessly produce mangoes. A neem tree can effortlessly produce neem. A papaya tree effortlessly produces papaya, but if a mango tree tries to produce papaya, finished. It will be hell. It can't do that because the purpose has been defeated. Your being, your core being is not in synergy with the existence. You're moved away from it. So I tell people, if you're putting too much of effort in whatever you're doing, then that's not your ball game. You've moved away from the truth. You moved away from the synergy of what you're here for. If you go and ask a musician, and if you ask him, can you, give me a good, music for my movie? Give me I need about 2 or 3 beautiful songs for my movie, and this is the story and everything. If a true creator is there, if he is born to create music, means they will do it in no time. If you take the South Indian musicians, Ilayaraja, He composes all his musics in 2 minutes. In one song, he composes in 2 minutes. That is creativity. He is, rooted in his being. If a person is rooted in that being, now whatever he delivers it effortlessly. If there is a singer, if you ask him to sing a song, if he is rooted in his being, he can deliver it effortlessly. No second thought. It happens. It flows. The energy flows because the existence blessing is always there. A rose plant, if it tries to create lotus flower, it has to struggle. Hell, it will become a big hell because it's not born for that. So the being has to be rooted is what I'm trying to tell. If this one thing gets into the people who are here involved and who know the team and the leaders, what we are trying to bring in, each one has got tremendous value. And the divine itself is there. If we can identify the value, what I am going to offer to the world, and if that is getting established as a being, and if that can be, converted into doing it, the whole world, not only the whole world is going to get benefited, I'm damn sure the whole existence will move towards that global, to the golden age is what I strongly believe. And with that, it's not that we are going to take away the people from their normal life. It is their normal life itself will become spiritual. They will realize that, see, I am in my value proposition right now, and this is exactly what I'm trying to offer to the world right now. And life is, happening in vital energy. And if that happens, I feel there will be tremendous synergy among the whole world. And that can bring everyone together and make this happen in a much faster pace. Because the whole mission becomes effortless, is what I believe, strongly believe. And with this, I would thank all the people once again who has given me this great opportunity to, share a few of my experience and whatever I want to share, a little wisdom to the whole, delegates here seated.
Thanks a lot, Guru Mitra Shivaji. It was really very enchanting and enlightening. And in addition to the Gyan, the experience, the focus on the experience has given us a reminder call that let's not just keep it in the Gyan and bring it into action and experience it. So all good things that we learn in our life, if they don't come into our experience, they will remain as a knowledge or as just information, right? So even knowledge is better than information. So it happens that after a few generations, the realization of somebody which came as a vision gets converted into knowledge, which ultimately reduces to an information in a book. So that's where gurus have to play the role and keep reforming the consciousness of the people whenever they see a decline is happening. And I think this was the reason behind Krishna saying this to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, that whenever such a decline happens, then God manifests through few human beings, and gurus are considered as living gods. So through gurus, this wisdom is again restored wherever it is needed. So now that we are in the deep of Kali Yuga, it has become all the more critical for all the gurus to lead the way and come together. Their coming together will definitely result into a huge ripple effect on the people who are following them. So this is where we talked when we met, and maybe a few baby steps we have already taken towards creating this synergy. Some of the people from Dakshina Foundation have attended SALDP, and some of the people from PYP have attended your programs. And now that you have spoken on Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform, there would definitely be no looking back now. We'll keep proceeding, we'll keep finding the common grounds, we'll keep finding the ways to synergize and act as a force multiplier to each other. So thanks a lot for the wonderful thoughts. We really loved it. And I hope all the audience would have also loved it. And I can see from the reflections of some of the people that they really liked the overall session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Hitesh, and thanks everyone. God bless you.
Okay. So the words of wisdom continue to flow, enhancing our collective human consciousness, thereby contributing in taking us closer towards the golden age that we all want. If you ask any soul, deep within every soul, there is a craving to see the golden world order during their own lifetime itself. Nobody would like to wait for the next life to see this golden world happening. And with the events like this, it's not just an event, as few people may feel that what would happen just by talking. So I keep reminding to the people that talking is not part of Gyanendriya. Talking from the point of view of the people who are doing it is part of the Karmendriya and is an action. It's an action of Shabda Indriya, which is the most profound Indriya as compared to the other four. Shabd exists in Shabd, it exists in Roop, Ras, Gandh as well. Sparsh, Roop, Ras, Gandh, everywhere there is Shabd. The Shabd is the vibration which makes the changes in the people's thought, and platforms like this wherein a good number of elevated souls are brought together to share their thoughts about the good things. Because these days you'll find a plethora of platforms where negativity is being talked about or practiced. But there are very few platforms which talk about positivity and the solutions. So Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform is one such platform, which is actually aiming, it is keeping the keyword as Paritranaya Sadhuna. It's like an inbuilt accountability that a soul understands by getting self-realized that we need to do Paritranaya Sadhuna. That means bringing people together who are into the good path and elevate them. Right? Together, everyone achieves more. This is where the synergy platform should work. And I hope you all would be getting a lot of insights from the speakers who are yet to present their views on the golden age. So we are left with one more speaker for today before we enter into the candid conversations. So I would like to invite my colleague, Garima Verma, to invite our fourth speaker of the day.
Thank you, Hitesh sir. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद Guru Mitra Shivaji for this enlightening session. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the fourth speaker for the day, Dr. Keshav Chandra Mandalji. Dr. Keshav Chandra Mandalji is a triple MA, PhD, BEd, and PGDBM. He's presently working as the headmaster of SM Nagar Derozio Smriti Vidyalaya, a government-sponsored high school in Kolkata. Previously, he taught political science as an assistant teacher at Ghatal YSS Vidyapeeth HS for 15 years, and he also taught political science at Rabin Mukherjee College 2017 in Kolkata as a guest lecturer. He has published 15 books, 3 monographs, and more than 50 scholarly articles from India and abroad. He was the editor-in-chief of an English e-magazine and a Bengali newspaper for several years. He has presented papers and delivered lectures in about 100 national and international seminars, conferences, and symposiums, and was invited to attend conferences in various universities from Europe. He's a life member of the West Bengal Political Science Association, WBPSA, and Bengal Institute of Political Studies, BIPS. His fields of interest are gender empowerment, local governance, comparative politics, development studies, and sustainable development goals. This author has successfully completed an ICSSR-sponsored research project from 2015 to 2017 as its project director. He also achieved a publication grant from the ICSSR ERC. His 4 works in 6 publications in the English language have 46 World Library holdings. His latest book, India 2047, A Vision, is in the pipeline. So far, his 15 books are already published. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our 4th speaker of the day 3, Dr. Keshav Chandra Mandalji.
Namaskar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For last 15 or 20 minutes, I have been listening to Guru Mitra Shivaji. It was a really nice discussion. So at first, I would like to express my profound gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Mr. Hitesh Chandraji for giving me the opportunity to speak a few words in this great event of Project PYP Global Summit 2022. I also convey my heartiest regard to the entire team of Project PYP Global Summit, especially to Sonali Sharkarji and Devesh Singhji also, and all other honorable board members of Defined Values Consultant and the present respected viewers and participants. Before me, today, we have heard Chilmai Praveenji, Dr. Ugandar Jiar, and just now we heard Guru Mitra's. Their speeches were really excellent and groundbreaking, and I congratulate them all. Before, for long you have been watching very serious discussions, and I'd like to tell a story about Hitesh Chandraji. Actually, I met virtually or maybe telephonically with Hitesh Chandraji through Ugandar Jiar. Ugandar Jiar also runs a very great organization, the World United. I, being a part of that movement, had the opportunity to work with him for several years by through his magazine Spirituality and Politics. And when a world conference was going on, so he was inviting many people, and at that time he said about Hitesh. And once I called him, he told that yes, I am doing this. This is my motto. I have been doing this. And I saw after that, maybe for last 3-4 months, I have been watching him very closely, and I saw that this man has been visiting from north to south, from east to west, for achieving one particular goal, that is the transformation of this universe. He has a very focused project, Yuga Parivartan, and his team, Yuga Parivartan. He has a very good team, and they are very energetic and very inspiring and helpful also. I congratulate them all. Right. So now I am going into my speech. Actually, maybe it's a big deliberation, but I would like to cut short. Today I shall deliver my speech on 3 main issues, such as what is my understanding of the situation of the world today? Do we need any grand change in the governance and constitutions of the world, or the world is just doing fine? And if any big reforms are required, the first issue this. Second issue is, what are the 3 most important things that should change for the ecosystem to become a golden age ecosystem, right? Number 3, role of different stakeholders such as government and non-government organizations, spiritual mentors, religious leaders, political organizations, business organizations, and finally a common man in creating the golden age, right? So let me begin with the point number 1, my understanding of the situation of world today, where big reforms are required for a holistic world ecosystem. I'd like to begin with the United Nations because there are 193 countries in the world, and if I want to examine the constitutions of these countries, it will take maybe months together. So Later, the highest organization, that is the United Nations. We all know that at the end of the Second World War, the United Nations was set up on 24 October 1945. And the United Nations has 6 principal organs: the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the UN Secretariat. But the Trusteeship Council was suspended operations from 1st of November 1994 after the Republic of Palau became independent. Apart from the existing 5 principal organs, the UN system has a multiple specialized agencies, funds, and programs such as the World Bank Group, the World Health Organization, the World Food Program, UNESCO, UNICEF, like this. Okay, and the current world population is 8 billion. 8 billion current world population. All right, and the world is divided into 7 continents that you all know: Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. So how is the world today? How is the world today? What is the health of world? If we say that, I would say that the health of the world is not well. Ukraine is burning. On 24th February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine without any provocation. The invasion has caused Europe's fastest growing refugee crisis since World War II, with more than 6.8 million Ukrainians fleeing the country and a third of the population displaced. Estimated losses are huge. The international relations have been shattered. The families have been broken. The educational institutions have been destroyed. And the families in Ukraine have been disintegrated. I have some friends in Ukraine, and I still have contacts with them, and we interact with them through Skype. And they said that their educational institutions have been damaged and the health system has been paralyzed. So not only that, there are at least 46,000 deaths. Non-fatal injuries are approximately 13,000. Missing is at least 400. Displaced persons are at least 1.5 crore. And buildings destroyed at least 2.3 thousand. And property damaged approximately worth $60,000 crore. Was it supposed to happen? What are the sole purposes and principles of the UNO? The purposes and principles of the UNO have been clearly written in Article 1 of the first chapter of UN Charter. Article 1 points out that the purposes of the UNO are: number 1, to maintain international peace and security. International peace and security. I'm giving emphasis on international peace and security. And to that end, to take effective collective measures for the prevention and removal of threats to the peace. Secondly, to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principles of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, and to take other appropriate measures to strengthen universal peace. And thirdly, to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as race, sex, language, or religion. Have these purposes and principles been fulfilled ever? Has international peace and security been established? What appropriate measures have been taken by the UNO to strengthen universal peace? How the Security Council been able to, has the UN Security Council been able to free the world from the menace of war? Let us have a look. I have examined the functions of the UNO. Being a student of political science, I have examined the functions of the Security Council of the UNO, in particular, and found that some serious defects are there in the Security Council. That I will discuss later. The deficits I will discuss later. But before that, I would like to highlight that that since the beginning of the setting up of the United Nations, we have found many wars and international conflicts where the five permanent members of the Security Council were involved directly or indirectly. We have seen Korean War since 1950 to 53, and we have seen Suez Canal crisis, Arab-Israel crisis. We have seen Vietnam crisis 1955 to 73. No, so Indo-Pakistan War. India had to face two wars. One in 1965 and another in 1971. Arab-Israel War. There was a series of Arab-Israel crises, and particularly notable of them were 1948 to 49, 1956, 7, 73, 82, and 2006. Iraq War, we all are aware, those who have crossed 30 years of age. We know that Iraq War, President Saddam Hussein's fall, that happened in 2003, and it continued till 2011. We have seen Iraq-Iran War 18 to 80 to 88 for long 8 years, and we have seen many wars like this. I do not like to discuss in detail, but from this discussion, I want to say that the UN Security Council is a complete failure. Before that, we found that the League of Nations was another flop show of the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and Japan, because these are the 4 permanent members of the League of Nations. Then the world witnessed the bizarre genocide and destruction of humanity in Second World War. From 1939 to 1945, there were so many international crises, conflicts, wars, invasions, looting, damages of property, damages of buildings, damages of libraries, damages of schools, universities, colleges, so many things. Let me give a horrible and inhuman description of the World War II. I'm just telling you a few facts about mortality. In 1939, there were 2 billion population in the world, right? But what happened? The best estimates indicate that between 62 to 78 million of them were died due to World War II. Not only that, civilian deaths were between 9.8 to 10.4 million. So you just imagine. And for the political and racial regions, where they were, most of them were murdered by the Nazi regime. Hunger. We find that in 1941 and 42, Greece was struck by a severe famine with about 1 lakh to 2 lakh deaths. A combination of food blockade and a harsh winter led to a crisis. In winter of 1945 to 44 to 45 in the Netherlands, about 20,000 deaths are there in Netherlands. My observation is that from the above discussions, we find 2 major things. What are the 2 major things? The wars and violation of peace were never initiated by India anywhere in the world. Can you remember that India attacked any country without any provocation anywhere in the world, any time in history? I want to say that India is a peace-loving country. India is a spiritual country. India is a promoter of love, sympathy, fellow feeling, these things. Secondly, all the invasions, attacks, looting, and disruption of property and life of humanity were conducted and guided by our respected, developed, and superior countries in Europe and America. Also, we can easily conclude that the UN has failed to protect sovereign nations from the losses of life and property. It failed to establish global peace and security among countries. Since the beginning of the journey of 1945, there is deficit in the formation of the Security Council, and it has remained unsuccessful to stop international armed conflict and wars. So, where are the major reforms required? Right. So these are the lacunas, these are the deficits of the UN and Security Council. So there are some places where some modifications can be made. First, Indian economy, Indian population, and Indian national power are so strong that India can legitimately claim a permanent membership in the Security Council. I vehemently recommend in favor of the motion. The UNO must have to give India its rightful position in global arena. Secondly, as the wars and conflicts could not be removed by the application of force by NATO or UN Security Council and through any other amiable means such as negotiation, mediation, etc. Hence, Indian spirituality can fill up the gap. I strongly feel that the constitution or setup of the International Peace Council, remember, International Peace Council as the sixth principal organ of the UNO in place of Trusteeship Council. So, I feel that pain is mightier than sword. As pain is mightier than sword, similarly, peace is worthier than word. Peace is worthier than word. Thirdly, as there is not any specialized organization, as there is no any specialized organization or agency on international peace and spirituality, the World Spiritual Organization, WPO, can be established as a specialized organ of the UNO. For its spiritual supremacy in the global arena, India should hold a permanent head position in the organization, and I strongly believe that spirituality can be more effective and easier tool to resolve any international crisis, conflicts, rather than NATO or other military alliances. Fourthly, the veto power of the Security Council must be repealed because no stern action can be possible if even a single member of the 5 permanent members, such as the USA, the UK, Russia, China, and France, apply its veto power. Do you know that as of February 2022, Russia or the USSR has used its veto power for 120 times? How many times? 120 times. The US 82 times, the UK 29 times, France 16 times, and China 17 times. Fifthly, you see, another interesting thing, another deficit. You see, the official, how many official languages are there? There are 6 official languages in the United Nations. These are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. But why not Hindi? Over 270 million people around the world speak in French. Only 270 million people. Secondly, Arabic is spoken by over 400 million people as mother tongue and the second language. Spanish is spoken by more than 559 million people globally. On the other hand, Hindi is the third most spoken language of the world as of 2019 with 615 million speakers. How many? 615 million speakers throughout the world. So you see, this is the third most spoken language of the world, but it has no any place in the United Nations. Why? So I strongly recommend Hindi as a permanent or an official language of the United Nations. Right. So with all these 5 recommendations, I will conclude this first part of my deliberation. Now I will shift my speech to the second issue of my deliberation. What is the second issue? The point number 2, second issue is, what are the 3 most important things do I think should change the present ecosystem to become a golden age ecosystem? This is really a very good issue, and it is also very close to my heart. Recently, I have finished writing a book titled India in 2047, a Vision. It is a rhapsody-like book of 415 pages divided into 13 chapters. In the book, I have extensively discussed about India, its glorious past and prosperous future. I have many similarities with Hitesji. His sole aim is to make an awakened India and a better world, that is to transform the present world into a golden age ecosystem. On this issue, I would like to say that there are different dimensions for transforming our ecosystem. to become a golden age ecosystem. But here I will talk about only three most important issues that might change the present ecosystem to become a golden age ecosystem, right? What are the three issues? What are the three things? The most important thing. Number one, I have given importance to spirituality in number one. Second is education, and number three is economy. You see, these are the three issues which I mean, to discuss one topic, particular one topic, it will take a few hours. But here time is very limited. That is why I have to cut short my discussion. I would like to say on spirituality first. So I think that India is a land of spirituality. It is a land of philosophers and saints, and also a land of mental peace and happiness. India never attacked. I told earlier also that India never attacked any country anywhere in the world without provocation. When the world is suffering from various ailments such as frustration, agony, peacelessness, and above all ignorance and devoid of ethics, it is Indian spirituality that only can protect and guide the entire humanity in the world. Where the Western powers ever succeeded to prevent war and prevent unhappiness, they may secure top positions in the United Nations, in the Human Development reports, with highest GDP rate, per capita income, and other indicators. There might be richness of physical wealth and luxuries in life, but where is mental peace and happiness? Where is so strong family bonding? Where is the pure and selfless love and care of parents towards their children? So where will they find so many godlike spiritual gurus? Where will you find pure saints, sadhus, and sannyasis except in India? Nowhere in the world. Only this is the holy land where you can find people who have left everything, all comforts and joys of family, and doing meditation and thinking about not personal happiness, personal peace. They are also thinking, they are also working, they have devoted their life for the happiness, peace, and prosperity of the world. To take the example of it is, so at this age, he is working. So vigorously, and he is working so energetically that it inspires hundreds and thousands of people across India and in other places also. And I have seen Ugandar Jiar also. He is also a great man. Like this, so many people are there. I may discuss if I get time at the end. So Indian philosophy can solve all global crises. That seems to me. And Kailash Satyarthi, we all know the name of Kailash Satyarthi, the Nobel Peace Prize winner of 2014. He said that India, quote, India may be a land of 100 problems, but it is also a place for a billion solutions. Right, unquote. India is an exclusive, extraordinary, and unparalleled country to solve any international crisis. Many European and American leaders have referred to the contribution of Indian spirituality and philosophy as a panacea of many problems. Let me put forward a recent example. Okay, so in Ukraine, Russia has invaded on 25th of April. There was a rocket attack on Russian on Russian military research institute near Moscow, and additional fuel tanks have also been exploded in Russia. And after this, naturally the Soviet Russian people will say that it was a sabotage of Ukrainian people or Ukrainian military. In response, Alexei Arestovich, an advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, neither confirmed nor denied the act, while one official suggested that the fires were just Russia's bad karma. What he said? He said Russia's bad karma. Mikhailo Podolak, a negotiator for President Zelensky, uttered another very significant statement. He said that karma is a hard thing. He said, you see, what did he say? Karma, the word karma is a hard thing. If you do good karma, then you have to you will get good result. And if you do very bad work, then you will have to also suffer for that. Bhagavad Gita has narrated the causes and consequences of bad karma. Let me cite a Sanskrit sloka from the Gita, which is very relevant and significant here, because it traces out step by step the causes of desire, anger, attachment, illusion, loss of memory, loss of wisdom, and ultimately death. The verse is like this: Shangat samjayati kamah kamat tadha vijayati tadha pavati shammaha shammohat siti vidhamah siti bhramshad buddhi nasha what pranashyati. So it is from Gita, Gita Rashamrita, published from Gita Press, Gorakhpur, page number 7. So I'm not elaborating the meaning of this, right? You see, this is a sloka, this indicates that from the materialistic thoughts, born out attachment or desire, if the desires are not fulfilled, anger is generated, and from anger, sammoha or illusion is created. The memory power of a person is lost from excessive illusory thoughts, and from illusion, what happens? Our wisdom is perished. And finally, when a man's wisdom is completely dissipated, his death or downfall becomes imminent, right? So Vladimir Putin's attack on Ukraine is a bad karma, and for this reason, he will have to face harsh result and suffer either today or tomorrow in the hands of God for his bad karma or bad action. What happened to President Saddam Hussein of Iraq? We know what happened to the General Jiar, who committed Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919. He became paralytic and he was sacked from his office. And Hitler, what happened to Hitler and his wife Yuga? They had to suicide themselves, right? Hitler shoot from his revolver, and Yuga took cyanide, and their dogs also were killed, with cyanide. So these are the consequences of bad karma. How much Indian philosophy and spirituality have influenced the world leaders? You see, so many examples are there. So many examples there, because Barack Obama has written, Shinzo Abe has told about India's philosophy and spirituality. But I found most reverence for India was from Germany. I would like to tell a few words about Germany's eulogy about India. German has a great respect for Indian philosophy, its literature and philosophy. For centuries, German philosophers, scholars, and even political leaders have got inspired by the works and ideas of Indian philosophy and religion. See, in Germany, in 14 universities of Germany, they teach Sanskrit, this language Sanskrit. So this is a great news of happiness to all of us Indians. So I see that one Indologist and philosopher, Friedrich von Schlegel, in 1808 published an epoch-making book, Über die Sprache und Weisheit der Indier. English version is On the Language and Wisdom of India. In this book, the author means von Schlegel, argued that a people originating from India were the founders of the first European civilization. This author also wrote, India is superior in everything, intellectually, religiously. Even Greek heritage seems pale in comparison. And another philosopher and theologist, Gottfried von Herder, said that mankind's origins can be traced to India, where the human mind got the first shapes of wisdom and virtue. Max Muller also extensively studied Indian Hindu religious scriptures and philosophy. He studied the Vedas, the Upanishad, and other Hindu scriptures. he was so impressed by reading the Vedas that he said, if I were asked under what sky the human mind has most fully developed some of its choicest gifts, that most deeply pondered over the greatest problems of life and has found solutions of some of them, which will deserve the attention even of those who have studied Plato and Kant, I should point to India. So this is a great recommendation, great eulogy or praise for India. I will not talk more about this, but I would like to say that that this is also in that sense. The German Chancellor Hitler's commander-in-chief Henry Kilmer, he used to carry always in his pocket Bhagavad Gita, but he maybe misunderstood it because he used it for wrong purposes. Okay, and now only being a spiritual guru is not enough. Oh, how a spiritual guru? A few days ago, I was talking with one Maharaj, Jagdeep Maharajji of Moromia group. I told him, what is your conception about India? While I was reading this book, writing this book, he said that he said with confidence that India is already a Vishwaguru. India does not require anything else to show the world separately to recognize, to be recognized as a Vishwaguru. I too agree with Jagdeep Maharaj. So Indian philosophy and spirituality have been igniting millions of minds across the world. Many global leaders have acknowledged it without any hesitation. So I can easily conclude, or we can safely conclude, that India is a spiritual Vishwaguru, right? But only being spiritual guru is not, Vishwaguru is not enough. What when I see that there are some indicators of being superpower, right? To become that, we need some other indicators. Education is a very important thing. So my second, I will tell you about. At first, I will tell you about Indian education system, and then I would like to tell about Indian economy. But time is very short. An education system, Indian education system. Very recently, after studying India's National Education Policy 2020, I wrote one book that is that is Indian Education Policy 2020, the key to development of India. That is, it is really very difficult to tell all these things here in a short span of time. So it seems to me that education is a process that starts from birth. And it is said that education is the mirror to the society. And it is the seed as well as flower of the socio-economic development. It transforms human beings from ignorance to enlightenment, from shades of social backwardness to life of social amelioration, and a nation from underdevelopment to faster social and economic development. All right, Kurukshetra, May 2011. National Education 2020, I would like to speak a few points here. National Education Policy, because it is the best education policy so far made in India, because it has extended the year of learning from 12 to 15 years, and it is one of the best because it has entered so many things which are appropriate for the present generation students. It has made 4 stages: foundational stage, middle stage, preparatory stage, middle stage, and secondary stage. And Japan education system are like these. There are 5 cycles, and it is also better even than the US education system. If you study very seriously, you will find it is better than US education system. US education system is divided into 3 parts: elementary level, middle level, and high school level, and then higher education. But there are some districts which have some separate things. And Japan students learn a lot about they do a lot of work in Anganwadis. Same in Indian students also learning a lot of things. They will learn through national education policy, social capability, sensibility, good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and public cleanliness. So many things they will learn. And when I look at the at my laptop watch, I find that yes, it is the time is very short, so I'll not be able to able to tell you in detail about India's educational system and details, and what are the prosperities and what are the ideas mentioned in that in the national education policy. If time permits, I will tell another day. But there one thing I would request Hitesh to allow me to speak. That is my vision of India as a $25 trillion economy by 2047. This is a very big issue because at present India is only a $2.6 trillion economy. As per the global PEO service record, I find that US is the highest or the or the richest country with $25 trillion economy, while China holds the second position with $14.72 trillion economy. Japan holds the third position with $5.6 trillion economy, and Germany and Great Britain with 3.85 and $2.76 trillion holds the fourth and fifth position, while India is the sixth position ahead of France. But with this, sorry, with this $2.66 trillion economy, I am seeing a dream to become a country with $25 trillion when India will celebrate its 100th year of independence. Why the concept? The concept of country is abstract. People are the main component of a country. The income of people actually determines the status and dignity of a country. That is why I have given too much emphasis on the income generation of our people, of the general people. So every third person in an Indian city today is a youth. In 2011, total young generation people, 15 to 34 years age people were 430 million. But in 2021, I will find that 464 million people are there. So after all deduction, if I only take 400 million youth in the age group of 15 to 34, this 400 million youth means 40 crore. 40 crore youth. So if a person, if a youth, or if a young person earns yearly the sum of rupees 46,48,381 rupees per year, then India's target of a $25 trillion will be fulfilled now itself. But I am not talking about now, I am talking about 2047. So, but this, I'm not taking this 40 crore. I am taking another 40 million in the another 400 million people. That means 44 people, adult people in the age group of 35 to 65, right? These 80 crore people, you see, if 80 crore people in the age group of 15 to 65 years earn average income of 24,190 rupees in 2047, India's GDP will be $25 trillion. So this is there is a very breakup, and how it will be done. I have mentioned everything in my book, and the time is not. It is already 16. I have crossed 1 minute, so I have to leave now. How to achieve this target? I am not. Telling I am not having time. So I will have to. I will have to close. But I say that yeah, definitely we have to develop entrepreneurship and target oriented. We have to work with very specific target, and we have to study job oriented subjects also. Just telling the headings only, and take a strategic goal. We have to take, every Indian will have to take strategic goal, and this role of various stakeholders such as government, non-government actors are very important, because it is not possible. This very big target cannot be achieved by individuals alone, because it needs the help and assistance and wholehearted cooperation of all the people, all the stakeholders, including spiritual leaders, business leaders, so many people it needs. And in conclusion, I would say that I see the dream. A dream is not far from India. The dream is not far when India will be a real Vishwaguru in all aspects. It is this vision of youth Parivartan will also be achieved through the combined efforts of our political leaders, government and non-government organizations, religious leaders, business organizations, and above all by we, the people of India. With these words, I would like to conclude here. Thank you. Thank you very much for bearing for such a long time. Namaskar. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar, Keshavji. Thanks a lot for this wonderful talk. It really empowered us that yes, there are people, there are institutions, there are initiatives which are adding a lot of value to Project Yuga Parivartan, even if they have not formally joined us so far. And it is this belief which keeps us confident that in next 3 years, we will be able to achieve the 10 lakh margin, the 10 lakh SALDP graduates or self-actualized people into the Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform, even if we have a very small number of people today with us. So we know that several good thinkers, several people on the path of self-actualization are already there into the ecosystem, even without the PYP in place, right? And all these things will converge at one point. If not with PYP Synergy platform, maybe some other organization. But yes, they have to converge together. So thanks a lot for reboosting our morale. You have nailed it well. You have very well explained about the roles of international organizations and where they are lacking. You have done some level of diagnosing, and the talk about CSO, the spiritual organization, Central Spiritual Organization something, or United Spiritual Organization.
International Spiritual Organization.
World Spiritual Organization, WSO.
Yes, yes.
Just like
yes.
we have WEF, WHO, WTO, we need to have a WSO also.
Right,
and,
right.
And that should not be reporting to the United Nations General Assembly. In fact,
Right.
it should be the guiding body to the United Nations General Assembly. And this is where we are pushing, or in fact, not pushing, we are projecting defined values consultants to be that Vishwa Guru organization. So I am very excited to work with you and synergize your system to act as a force multiplier mutually. Because if leaders don't follow the principles of teamwork, that together everyone achieves more, then who else would follow? Right. So we have to lead by example to the common people that yes, we are coming together and we are waiting for you also to come together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. So with this, I would like to invite my colleague Anita Budraja ji to invite our fifth speaker of the day in the format. It's a different format than the regular speaking session. So Anita ji, please invite.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Kashyap Bandal, for your deep insights and your sharing your vision with us.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, after an evening full of wisdom shared by many enlightened souls, I am pleased to invite Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandelji to provide reflections-based answers to the various questions the panelists and audiences may have. Mr. Hitesh Chandel is the Chief Mentor of the Defined Value Consultants, founder of Project Yuga Parivartan, the author of Code of Conduct for Citizens, and several other ways in which we can introduce him. But what blows away our mind is the conviction and self-belief that this frail structure of human holds in himself. The confidence he exudes when he says that he is accountable for every single event and action in the universe, whether good or bad, and is infectious. When he says there is an avatar within each of us waiting to manifest and exude a grand mission, one believes him with ease and gets down to act and behave like one. Indeed, my proud privilege to be introducing him to audience for candid conversations. Prior to establishing his company and launching Project Yuga Parivartan, he worked with leading IT organizations for 14 years. There was something buried deep in his heart to channelize his spiritual energies towards re-establishing the status of Bharat as Vishwa Guru, that is the mentor of the world, which inspired him to do a deep search and research on the ancient Indian philosophy and contemporary Western organizational development philosophies to create a blended human and organizational development framework, self-actualized leadership development program, which is SALDP, which is all set to revolutionize the way human beings and organizations are developed across the planet, regardless of their caste and creed, religion, or nationality. He has a target to develop a million or 10 lakh self-actualized leaders by 4th June 2025 and synergize them through Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform. The Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform is an inclusive, exclusive, and conclusive framework to bring golden age for humanity. There will be a dedicated presentation by him on day 5 of the event to explain how you can also become a part of this grand system. To summarize, he is an author, serial entrepreneur, spiritual revolutionary, leadership coach, and a visionary thought leader. Whatever has been accomplished by mankind has first been manifested in the mind of the man. And we have here the man who has manifested the golden world order in his mind and in the minds of enormous number of people. It is a matter of time that it will get manifested in the entire world. Please feel free to ask any questions related to your self-development, Project Yuga Parivartan, Code of Citizens Conduct, Golden World Order, or any other thing that could satisfy your quest to know more about the world. Presenting our chief mentor, Shri Hitesh Chandelji, in a straight and candid conversation.
Thanks, Anitaji, for this wonderful introduction. And before we start the candid conversation, I would request all the panelists who have the permission to unmute to please do that and applaud for all the wonderful speakers that we have got in the last 3 days. Please unmute and applaud. So here we go. Wonderful. This was really awesome and opened up several new pathways for us to synergize in coming future. So we go by the principle that coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. So in order to make all organizations and individuals across the world working together on the mission Project Yuga Parivartan, it is important to open up forums to bring them together so that they can come together and take the first step. Second step is to arrive at a common ground, minimum, you can say, ideology or manifesto that they can agree upon and start from there, because we need a starting point for anything meaningful, or in fact, non-meaningful things also require some starting point. So once they get the starting point and stay together and try to know about each other, their strengths, their weaknesses, and then finally arrive at a understanding where we can leverage each other's strength and become complementary forces to each other. So all these will happen in the days to come. And that's where I want to invite each individual to don't just let it go as a transactional activity. If you have taken your 5 days of time, 4 hours a day, please build upon that, come forward proactively and join the Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform. I will explain more about the platform design and in which all ways you can collaborate on 8th June from 7:15 to 7:55. So instead of having the candid conversations on that day, we will have the details of the membership to the Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform. Project Yuga Parivartan is something which has something for everyone, and probably everything for someone. So we have place for both. You can come as a fence sitter, you can come as an audience, you can come as a player, you can come as a referee, as an umpire, you can come as a third umpire and do the observation from outside, or you can be part of the playing team and also become the captain. So all these possibilities are there in the Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform, and we would want you to select what best suits you at this juncture. Ultimately, everyone who is into PYP is being developed as a Vishwaguru, right? Because that's the ultimate that any human being can achieve in this human life. There are 4 roles: worker, manager, leader, and mentor. And in the mentor role, in the increasing order of its importance and impact, and in the mentor role also, the highest role could be the mentor of the world role. And this is what India, or more specifically Bharat, has to manifest. Time and again, this beautiful land, this holy land, has taken the accountability of the world. And this is again a time when the world is looking towards us. We have that S6 wisdom documented in our scriptures. Of course, if we don't take it out of the box through a rational intelligence, we may argue that every holy scripture or the book, founding book of a religion or additional books are all S6 communication. But if we have patience and do a debate and try to understand, then we will find that the ancient scriptures written by the Rishi Munis have definite edge over what is written later on. And that was not written for Bharat alone. That was not for Hindus alone, because at that time, such type of distinctions were anyways not there. So let us go back to the oldest world order, the oldest civilized world order, read their documents, understand how they were doing their human and material resource management, learn from them, and create a contemporary system which can serve each human being on this planet. So with this, I would like people to ask questions. Anyone from the audience, anyone from the panelists are invited to ask whatever questions come into their mind. Yes, Praveen, you wanted to ask something?
See, this SLDP graduation that we have said, 70 odd hours of undergoing training that we all did. You really feel that one attendance of 70 hours would have transformed all of us?
No. We have just touched the surface. अभी पहली डोज में सीधा बड़ी डोज नहीं देनी है. अभी उसका मैं 90% सटल और 10% ग्रॉस डोज देता हूँ, राइट? तो ये बढ़ेगा अभी, और अभी ऐप में आने वाला है SLDP. तो जिन लोगों ने SLDP ग्रेजुएशन कर ली है, वो उसमें ऐप में बैठ के अकेले, बिकॉज दिस कोर्स विल एक्चुअली वर्क बेस्ट इन 1-to-1. ये ग्रुप कोचिंग का कोर्स ही नहीं है. उसके लिए हाउ वाले कोर्सेज होते हैं सबकॉन्शियस माइंड के. दिस इज अ कॉन्शियस माइंड कोर्स व्हिच हैज टू बी डन अलोन, क्योंकि लीडरशिप पोजीशन पे व्यक्ति अकेला होता है. तो अकेले में क्या काम करना है वो सीखने के लिए वर्कशॉप भी अकेले में होनी चाहिए. तो उसके लिए आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट एवरी SLDP ग्रेजुएट टू गो थ्रू द एंटायर SLDP once again at their own pace, early morning, late night, whatever suits you, right? Then come back with your questions, come back with the requests for 1-to-1 mentoring, and we will take it that way. Together, complementary forces can become more resourceful than individual ownerships. Yes, Anita ji, your question.
One thing which must have started centuries ago, which has brought down the human conditions to whatever level we are at today. So what is it that all of us, or maybe my personally, we can start working at that, which will support the, whatever we have been trying to manifest?
So if we only talk about, say, the speed, because ultimately Project Yuga Parivartan is about bringing 1 million providers together so that we can serve the rest of the 140 crore seekers. Right. So these 1 million leaders will serve the 140 crore Indians, and then 10 million self-actualized leaders will serve the 1,000 crore people across the planet. Now, to do that, SALDP is one of the primary stimulus which has to go into people multiple times, right? In different way. Maybe sometimes even after completing SLDP graduation, it makes sense to have a physical workshop, off-site physical residential workshop of SLDP, because the beauty of SLDP is no matter how many times you do it, you will still gain from it. ठीक है? तो एक तो ये tool हुआ to develop that human resource. The second thing, that why it has happened, because why this consciousness goes down, it is part of our design only. And that's where Krishna had to say in Bhagavad Gita, it's very surprising. I don't know why several gurus have never touched upon this point when they are talking about Bhagavad Gita. They were never surprised that how could Arjun be totally unaware of the knowledge of yoga. We keep talking about big things about our Guru Dronacharya in Mahabharata, who was the royal guru of that time and very famous, so famous that I lived in a city called as Gurugram for 10 years, which was basically given as a Guru Dakshina to the Guru Dronacharya by the Kauravas. Right, so they were all living nearby. Delhi was the Indraprasth and Meerut was the Hastinapur, and Gurugram was given as a Guru Dakshina to Guru Dronacharya, and the battle of Mahabharata happened in Kurukshetra. So all these cities are very close by. Now, nobody got surprised that Guru Dronacharya have never discussed about yoga with Pandavas and Kauravas. That as soon as Krishna mentioned about the yoga, Sthit Pragya, Arjun became completely surprised. He was caught unawares. So I have listened to several people's commentary on Bhagavad Gita and several tikas I have read, but I have never found anyone getting surprised due to this fact that how could Arjun was totally unaware of yoga, even though he did a lot of meditation to get the Divyastra, and yet he was not aware of the yoga. So it is in our design. As Krishna has also said कि मैंने ये योग सबसे पहले सूर्य को दिया था, सूर्य से उसके पुत्र विवस्वान को आया, फिर परंपरा से आता गया और फिर लुप्त हो गया. Same has happened even after the recovery of yoga knowledge at the time of Mahabharata by Krishna. It has gone out of our mind once again. Isn't it surprising? Right? And what Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata. कि जब जब धर्म की हानि होती है, whenever there is a decline in this dharma. So what exactly is dharma? Dharma about anything can only be understood if the mind is in sthit pragya state, self-actualized state, ekagrachit state, is in vijnanamaya kosh, is in the state of sabhi samadhi. So that means the only root cause of all this decline in the consciousness and the Kali Yuga is dropping of the chitta from the ekagrachit or the self-actualized state to the lower level. And this is where Krishna has mentioned paritranaya sadhuna, that elevate the good people, because it's not necessary that you would do good things only after becoming sthit pragya. Right? You can follow your gut, you can follow your passion, you can follow the wave of the times to do the good things for the world, even without becoming self-actualized. Right? So elevating such people, paritranaya sadhunam, is what Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy platform is all about. That identify all those good things happening in the world and bring them together and elevate them. Because if good people don't integrate, if good people don't synergize, please rest assured that bad people are not thinking in this way. They will definitely synergize. Right? हंस चुगेगा दाना तुनका, कौवा मोती खाएगा, हो जाएगा और हो रहा है. And there is a saying that the world is not in a bad shape due to the bad deeds of the bad people, but more due to the no good deed by the good people. It is the silence of this good number of good people, good thinking people, which has brought the world to this situation. So paritranaya sadhunam is more critical than vinashaya cha dushkrita. Because these days, Brahmastra is there even with Kim Jong-un. Right? Several people have the Brahmastra. It's not only Arjuna and Ashwatthama having these. So let us not go into the Vinashaya cha Dushkritam route. So why are we putting our energies towards Vinashaya cha Dushkritam? Why not on Paritranaya Sadhuna? So, coming back to your question, the root cause is decline in consciousness from the Sthit Pragya state. If we restore the consciousness level to the Sthit Pragya, then definitely what I am thinking today as my accountability in real sense, other people will also start thinking. And maybe the challenging financial situation or resource situation that has come to the engine of PYP is also a lesson that does a human being has any feature in which they can perform even without the resources. Maybe this was a test. Maybe this was not just lack of performance. It may be needed to create a युग प्रवर्तक. Right? एक बार तो फकीर होना पड़ता है. जब तक अंदर से खाली नहीं होते हैं, उस पीक को टच नहीं करते हैं.
So to reach to that level, you mean to say yoga is the way? Yoga
Yes,
is the
yoga
way.
Rudha Avastha. We all need to take action from the yoga Rudha Avastha, which means doing act of God. PYP has to be an act of God, but some people may misinterpret it, like one of the speakers in sometimes were saying that nature will do its own course correction or nature will do it itself. It doesn't happen that way. Right? There are only two things, Jada Prakriti, Chetan Prakriti. Jada Prakriti is nature, Chetan Prakriti is Atma, Paramatma. Right? So nature jab tak jeet rahi hai, tab tak Chetan haar raha hai. So Chetan has to control the nature. Chetan is the creator of the nature. Right? So nature, we can't allow nature to do it. We are more evolved being than the nature. Nature gives us the raw material, these Pancha Tattva. But the master of this Pancha Tattva is the Atma within. So how could nature be more elevated than the Atma? Secondly, if you take Bhagavad Gita as an evidence, it says कि अपनी योग माया को अधीन करके, अपनी इस अपरा प्रकृति को अधीन करके सबऑर्डिनेट पोजीशन पे लाके मैं अवतरित होता हूं. So Atma is always higher than nature. We should not forget it. We should not be under the control of our nature. Our nature should be under our control. Very different deviating thought processes have found their place into the minds of people, due to which right rational spiritual intelligence has not come into people's life. And today only I was talking with a very senior colleague within PYP. We were agreeing to disagree. He was saying that spirituality should not be we should not make it professional. And my contention was that my birth in this life is to disrupt the current form of spirituality in the world and make it a professional service. It has to be demystified. Enough of a mystic spirituality. Spirituality is not about becoming mystic and spreading mysticism. Spirituality is about becoming demystic and remove the mysticism from this world. Everything is rational. Everything is based on cause and effect. And hence we must understand this cause and effect. चमत्कार को नमस्कार करना spirituality नहीं है, जादू टोना है.
लेकिन फिर फकीरी, अभी आपने कहा था ना कुछ फकीरी के माध्यम से ही कर सकते हैं.
नहीं, मैंने ये नहीं कहा कि फकीरी के माध्यम से.
Sir, what about being and doing, sir? Sir, what about being and doing?
Being and doing.
Like Mitra Shivaji has told today. Yes.
Yes, being and doing. Because see, if you do.
What is that being?
What is the?
Yeah.
अपना क्वेश्चन एक बार दोबारा बोलेंगे उदय जी?
What is being and doing? Today we have listened about the being and doing and then having.
हाँ, वही मैं बता रहा हूँ.
He has talked about three things.
Being is self-realization, doing is self-actualization, and achieving is self-esteem. right? So it is like avastha se vyavastha, fir vyavastha se parinam.
How to go about being, how to be, मतलब means that's what ना, that is the path.
How to be का जो रास्ता है वो अष्टांग योगा है कि आप योगारूढ़ अवस्था तक पहुंचे, and which is not an end, it is the beginning. सबसे पहला अपना एरर जो हमें क्लियर करना है स्पिरिचुअलिटी का वो ये है कि मोक्ष जो है वो अंत नहीं है, मोक्ष जो है वो प्रारंभ है. It is not a destination, it is a source. The being is the source of doing, and doing is the source or the cause of the effect called as result. S6 की अवस्था में जाके S6 की अवस्था में जाके S5 की व्यवस्था बनाइए और S4 का परिणाम लीजिए.
That's what, sir, I was just, my conclusion was that without being, how can you go for the doing?
Second
so the
question
doing will be the doing.
Good point. So ये आपका जो second question है कि without reaching to the being, how can we come back to doing? So उसका मैंने आपको रास्ता बताया था कि any organization or any action only gets completed if all the 4 roles participate in it: mentor, leader, manager, and worker. The job of the mentor is to envision and create the vision. The job of the leader is to take that into a mission mode. The job of the manager is to create the strategy to utilize the resources in the right way. And the job of the body or the worker is to execute it. Now, any action cannot be completed without these 4 causes, as we have learned in SALDP level 0 itself, that behind every change, these are the 4 causes which will take place. So if you have not reached to the efficient cause, if you have not reached to the being level, then outsource it. Right? Just like we do the outsourcing or delegation downwards, we also need to do outsourcing upwards. So if you have not reached, suppose you have reached to the leader consciousness, then delegate the mentorship consciousness to somebody else. Let the person envision and you convert that into your reason. Right? In SALDP context, it's like you take the vision of Project Yuga Parivartan and derive your mission from the Project Yuga Parivartan vision. So my job as a mentor would be to define the vision, and your job as a leader would be to derive the mission. Most part of your work is already done by the mentor, because acting, doing is the easiest job. It can be done by workers also, but workers cannot process, the workers cannot reason, the workers cannot envision, and that's why they are workers. They can only act. Now, the second level of evolution, the person reaches to the management level. At management consciousness, the person can act, the person can process, but he still cannot decide, and he still cannot envision. He can just repeat the processes which are already in the visible domain. Now, when you reach to the leadership consciousness, then you can act, you can process, you can decide, but delegate the acting to the workers, delegate the processing to the manager, and you do just the decision making. If a leader does 100% decision making work, he is optimally utilized. Now, the 4th level, envisioning. If the vision is not enabled within you to see the ideal world, then those who have seen the ideal world, just follow them. Consider their vision as your vision. This is called as secondary observation. So suppose I am the primary observer or the original observer of PYP, and you have not reached there, then at least become the secondary observer. Right? Learn from the intent of curiosity instead of with the intent of the probing. You will learn faster. Consider COCC as an outcome of a Samadhi state consciousness and take it word by word. Right? There is a saying in the law कि दो statements चलती हैं. Guilty, what the crowd justice does is guilty till proven innocent. And what is Nyaya Vyavastha is innocent till proven guilty. Similarly, COCC, if you start with the probing and saying it is wrong, it won't work. Consider COCC as right, and then wherever you have some questions, then ask it. Today only the same guy that I'm talking about was saying this, that he has an additional privilege. He wants to discuss about Bhagavad Gita, Nyaya Shastra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and COCC, but he has a privilege for COCC because the author of this book is still alive. But for the other three books, Bhagavad Gita, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and Nyaya Shastra, the original thinkers have gone. And as Mitra Shivaji has rightly said, that till the time original thinker is there, it will remain as a vision. Once he goes away, then it gets converted into just a mission. It reduces to a mission. Then once he goes away, further like deteriorate, then only people can strategize about it and don't take it as a mission. You can see Gandhiji's several processes that are there in the ecosystem today. People are not taking that as a mission. They are taking that as a process which they need to repeatedly follow. It will remain as a knowledge, and finally it will reduce to information, right? And after information, it will be like a dead content which nobody reads. So the good part about COCC vision is that the author is still alive. So make use of it. Why are you wasting time? So many ideas, so many thoughts, all coming together to start an energy flow in a direction of solution. Because I don't think any educated person today is totally unaware about the drastic problems towards which the world is moving. And several of them have also understood that they also have some role to play. Even if they have not got a clarity of what that role would be, but somewhere within the soul, they have started realizing that yes, something definitely needs to be done. And through this platform, we could see several such initiatives coming together. Now it is up to us how we integrate them together in an intelligent way so that everyone can get a win-win situation for their mission. That's a constant challenge that we have to work for. Second challenge would be the ideological differences which are there in various missions. So we have found that people don't want to collaborate if they don't see a good percentage of oneness in the ideology. But here we have a platform, PYP Synergy platform, which is ready to even accommodate the difference in ideology. We can solve the differences on the way when we move forward, but let us synergize. Alone, we cannot change the world. Of course, every mission, every movement is started with a small group of people. And that's where Margaret Mead also said that never doubt that a small group of people can change the world, because it is indeed the case every time. So it's true that initially it starts with a handful of people, but then if they don't convert that into a movement, into a big thought process change, revolution, the big changes would not come to the ground. And that's where this Synergy platform aims to fill that gap and help all such missionaries to come together.
Yeah.
Yes, Amita ji.
So, just as you remarked, I was also feeling the same thing, that we have so many thoughts and so many divergent subjects on which we need to reform. So how do you think PYP would be able to synergize all this and keep moving in the right direction and not get bogged down with so many ideas and ideals?
Very good question, because we may encounter a situation which is called as problem of plenty. That if there are so many ideas and so many divergent ideas, then it becomes very difficult to bring them into oneness. But this is where the skills of the self-actualized leaders that we are developing will come to test. Because if a person is really self-actualized, then he will find the way to bring people together, right? They can see, self-actualized people can see more than what other ordinary people or other people in the evolution chart can see. So this is how synergies can be created. You have to evolve more than the components that you want to synergize. Without that, you cannot see more than them. And without seeing more than them, you cannot influence them. So this is the key. So even if somebody has to synergize the people who all are self-realized, then you have to become self-realized +1, right? And this facility is also available in the ecosystem. As we have heard that Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta. The story of the infinite God or the infinite truth is also infinite. So that means no matter how much a person develops and evolves on this planet, you can always go one step higher, right? And this is where we even keep telling our avatars within the Project Yuga Parivartan team that don't even consider the benchmarks created by people like Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad and all as the final benchmark.
Sorry.
They had evolved during their lifetime based on the context that they were into, right, to a certain extent, right? Maybe the peak during their time, but they are not limiting factor for our growth, right? We can grow much more than that. May I request my colleague to share the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Mentor, Mr. Hitesh Chandelji, honorable guest speakers of the day, dearest team members and our most valued audience, pleasant greetings to this wonderful gathering. I, Garima Verma, an integral team member of Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform team, I feel privileged to propose a vote of thanks amongst all of us. First and foremost, we thank the Lord Almighty who has designed and refreshed our souls with a sweet stream of blessings. Thank you, Lord. We express our gratitude to our Honorable Guruji, Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandelji, to organize such a wonderful event on this virtual platform as a part of Project Yuga Parivartan. His incredible leadership, timely and proper advice, and the freedom in decision making has provided us with the opportunity to conduct this summit. We have been fortunate enough to have eminent persons from different regions to share their views on the need and design of the Golden World Order, or Satya. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Ms. Chilmai Praveen ji, whose plethora of ideas shared for bringing effectiveness in the governance quality was really encouraging. Her passion about the mission is clearly visible in her communication. We appreciate her insistence of ensuring survival-related need fulfillment system for the downtrodden, as the accountability of the government and the society will go a long way in meeting some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This gels very well with the Project Yuga Parivartan Synergy Platform objectives, and we look forward to synergizing with you, Ms. Chilmai. Further, we are grateful to Dr. Ugandar for sharing his spontaneous views on the vision of Golden Age. We cannot agree more on his emphasis on the need of individual transformation playing a key role in creating the Golden World Order. Yes, we indeed are on the same page that spiritual transformation will touch upon all aspects of reformations. Thank you, Dr. Ugandar, for speaking directly from your heart. I would also like to express our sincere thanks to Guru Mitra Shivaji, who has shared the age-old wisdom in very simple words, which enters directly into your heart. His insistence on not leaving one's mission, even in the difficult situations in life, is what inspires us the most. This is what we constantly remind our SALDP leaders as well, to not get affected by whatever is happening in our life and not deviate from their mission. All these difficult situations in life come as a test to refine us further. Thank you for revalidating this precious thought, Guru Mitra Shivaji. And last but not the least, our fourth speaker of the day, Dr. Keshav Chandra Mandalji, has come with a great depth of understanding about the international systems already in place, especially the ones which are related with the United Nations, which is very critical for the Yug Parivartaks to know before setting themselves on systematic forums or reforms. This mentioning of the term WSO, which is World Spiritual Organization, is a novel idea which definitely get prominence in the discussion forums of UNO. As a matter of fact, Defined Values Consultants is working in this direction only. A Vishwaguru organization is the dire need of today. Thank you, Dr. Keshav, for your valuable thoughts. Hearty gratitude to all the speakers who have generously accepted our invitation, spared their precious time from their busy schedules, and shared their valuable knowledge and expertise with all of us. Thank you, dear sirs and ma'ams. I hope all participants today would have gained a lot of insights into the deep subject of an ideal or utopian world order, which is urgently needed to be established before it becomes difficult for anyone to do anything substantial to save the humanity from the clutches of dark age. I'm sure that the upcoming days of summit will bring a lot of additional value to every participant's life. We invite all speakers and audience to join hands with PYP Synergy platform. With this, I would like to hand over the mic to Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandhelji again to inform the audience about the agenda, which already you have done, so no problem. Namaskar.
Garima, just wanted to add the tomorrow's speakers list so that today's audience can know about it. So tomorrow on 7th June, we will be having sessions from Dr. Ajit Sabnis, who is chairman of Shri Aurobindo Society State Committee, Karnataka. Then we will have a session, a very important one, by Swami Yagyadev Ji, who is a staunch researcher who has done a lot of research on Yagya-based therapy, and he is directly reporting to Swami Ramdev Ji. So he is from Patanjali Yogram. Then we will have a session by very outstanding scholar from Islamic world, Allama Sayyid Abdullah Tariq Ji, who is also the president of World Organization of Religion and Knowledge. And surprisingly, they are working on Yug Parivartan. And in fact, he has authored a book, Islamic View on the Yug Parivartan. Then we will have a session by Padam Shri Dr. Shyam Sundar Paliwal Ji, who is also a social activist and the father of eco-feminism. He is from the village Pipilantri, which is famous for the girl child upliftment. It has become a model village for which he is honored with Padma Shri. And then it will be followed by a 40 minutes candid conversations at the end of the session. So please do join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. and let us keep synergizing to the next steps as we proceed further.
Hitesh sir, sorry. Let's give a round of applause to all our speakers.
Yes.
Also audience, but especially the speakers.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, all the audience. Looking forward to see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Logging off.